And then if you want to talk again, send up another request. We'll try to cycle everybody through. Trillian, go ahead.
Hey, Blake, thanks for doing this. For the record, I don't think Erica Kirk had anything to do with Charlie's assassination. I do have a question for you. So recently, it was in fact Gary's podcast with Jeremy Boring. Jeremy Boring lays out the argument that he would have never put Ben Shapiro in that chair, meaning that the security setup, even for not a security expert, was obviously not acceptable, the threat risk, especially for who Charlie was, future president of the United States, as Michael Knowles claims. I'm wondering if you could tell us anything about the site selection specifically at UVU that day. We've had some claims made that UVU offered multiple venues, one being inside, one being a different courtyard, and one being the UVU Fountain Courtyard. Is there anything you can tell us about why that spot was specifically chosen, considering that even Jeremy Boring says that he would have never put Ben Shapiro in that seat?
I was not involved in the selection of the site or any discussions about it. What I can say secondhand from speaking to people who were involved is they have said Charlie himself really specifically liked that site at UVU. He liked the idea of an amphitheater, that when you pan the camera across it, it's going to be filled with thousands of people and it will look like even more. An amphitheater is that sort of environment is perfect for making the crowd look as dramatic and big and impressive as possible. And Charlie was a guy who thought about that. I think one of my favorite examples, I think it was what Charlie said about indoor events like AmFest, is he would say, like, I think go wide, not deep is the line he would say, because if you have a room and it's full and you're panning the camera across and you just keep having more and more people as you go, it's going to make the room look like way more people are in it than the same number of people stretched backward vertically. Then the room is going to look emptier and smaller. That's the sort of stuff Charlie talked about and thought about. And so,
but was Charlie told that, for instance, is a open carry campus?
Okay, a lot of states are open. A lot of states have open carry in red states.
It's just that it seems like optics, things that are good for the camera, overrode like the actual security threat. And what we're told is that the UVU campus actually specifically told their team that this area would be almost impossible to secure. So you would think that you would go above and beyond to secure the venue, such as maybe with drones or putting more people on roofs, or just none of that was a concern.
My understanding is Charlie really personally liked the amphitheater environment because it would allow a ton of people to be there. It would be an incredibly impressive visual, something he cared about. It would look great and it would feel great and it would be a great event. And he thought about things like that. That's why he liked doing more big outdoor events. He evolved in that direction over time because it allowed more people to be at them. And like I said, I wasn't in the meeting. I wouldn't be surprised if someone said there will be more security risks with this. And he said, I'll take that because I want to reach the most people and put on the biggest and best events. But as I said,
do you know, last question, do you know who specifically went to the campus to scope it?
When that decision was made, so I am speaking secondhand, but I repeatedly heard people say that Charlie was very excited specifically about that amphitheater environment.
I'm just wondering, so you said you're hearing it secondhand. Would you name who specifically went scouted that location and who you heard that secondhand information from?
No,
was it Dan or was it someone else? Was it Elizabeth?
Scouted the location, and no, I don't recall who specifically told me this. I just recall that I have been told this.
All right. Thanks, Blake.
Thanks, Trillian. All right, we're going to have CJ Correnti, and there will be Jack Tron, Lisa Knows, Nish Perez, and even Project Constitution and Z. We'll keep in that order. Try to keep your comments or your questions short.
We'll wait to see what Project Constitution says.
Good. Hey, Trans, I actually have a question for you, because I was in your space earlier, and you were talking about Gary on Jeremy's show, how he saw the live broadcast. Now, I'm not speaking on behalf of Gary here, but there was a live broadcast
I don't know
going
if
on.
this is for me.
No, this is actually for Trillions. I'm asking him.
Did CJ just cut out?
Can you hear me?
Or is it me?
No, I hear him. He's asking a question about the live stream. But did you finish the question or not yet?
No, I haven't finished it yet.
How did Gary get confused by
How
that?
did you see a live stream? And I think Adam Bartholomew, I think he was in here earlier. He was streaming live, I think a few minutes after, 12:30, I think, 12:40, I think he went on. But I can't speak on behalf of Gary, of what he was seeing live, but there was a live broadcast that was going on. But what was your question? Because I saw the post and everything, and I'm just want to be clear about it. And this is not an attack, I'm just asking a very simple question.
So the question was, so we actually talked to
that's a lot better,
Bartholomew
actually.
yesterday. He told us that as the gunshot happened, his live feed cut out. It was Gary making the claim that first he couldn't remember, and then he said that he thinks he did watch the live stream. Dana Loesch made the same claim. In fact, during her podcast, somehow they were watching the live stream. So the question was just simply, where were you watching the live stream? I don't think it was Bartholomew's footage. I don't think that's what Gary would have been watching.
No.
There's just some rumors that there was a live stream hooked up for a select few of that specific event.
They
So
said there
that's all
was,
the question
dude.
is if you did watch it live, how did you watch it? Was it Bartholomew's or was it something else?
It was live.
Because Bartholomew's stream
I'll just
went
let you guys-
off.
Well, for whatever reason, audio cut out for me I understand the gist of the question, though. And just like I told you already, Trillion, I don't remember. I can't remember specifically if I was watching it live or shortly thereafter, but it was within minutes. Why do you say that?
Of course not.
I'm just telling you I don't remember, and you're like, of course.
I mean, it's such a big event.
Turning Point said they
It wasn't
did.
at the
This
time.
is like such
This
a
is 10 months ago.
profound.
I don't remember if I was watching it live or not. I mean, you can accept that answer.
Gary doesn't
and
remember
that is the
anything
truth.
either, guys.
On a stack of Bibles, on my, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm just telling you, if it wasn't live, then it was moments after, and I genuinely don't remember. And you can accept it or
Well,
not.
where do you remember first seeing it? On X?
Good questions
Yeah, I
by
think so.
Trillion.
And if it wasn't live, then like I said, it was shortly thereafter. It probably wasn't live. It most likely wasn't live. I don't know what else to tell you.
Hey, Blake, are we ever going to get any of the TPUSA footage from the event?
Nice.
How should I know?
Connected.
I don't work at TPUSA, but I imagine it's possible it will be. The judge was looking at what I believe was footage from the event at the pretrial. If all of that is made public at the full trial, maybe it'll be seen there. But I don't know Utah's rules.
Does TPUSA not fund the show? Is the show funded through ulterior means?
The show is under Resolute Media because it was a for-profit enterprise.
And Resolute Media was Charlie Kirk and Andrew Colvitt's company?
I don't know the exact distribution of ownership, but yeah, certainly
Resolute
Charlie
Media.
owns some large share of it. Yeah.
So now Erica, that's passed on to Erica, right? She's
I don't know.
part of it.
I don't part of Resolute Media, so I don't know the way the company is structured. I just work for it.
All right, cool. Thanks.
I just worked for it, but I know nothing about it.
No, one more thing. Last thing. I'm thinking probably the next day or two. I think Candace is probably going to pull the other theory that there was a unspent round on the computer science building. I was in a space last week, and I chimed in. Somebody brought me up there, and I chimed in, and I said it's completely impossible because you can't shoot through. You can't.
No line of sight.
Yeah, there's zero line of sight, but you can't shoot through concrete, and the that slope that's on that top part, you just can't. There's no way. You have to be Spider-Man to stick to that. I said that last week. So she'll probably come up with that this week. I'm willing to bet it.
Well, and to be clear on this, now the messaging on this is that it's a bullet. It's not a bullet. It's
Yeah,
a
I thought I said something
unfired
quick there.
round. That was 223. The explanation that was given makes perfect sense to me. They were clearing from the bottom to the top. They get to the top. They realize it's clear. The officer decides to lock and clear his firearm. That sounds like it's standard procedure there in Utah. I mean, you can either accept that or not. But, I mean, the explanation holds. And by the way, I don't even know where we're going with that because clearly the medical examiner said that it was a 30 caliber family round. I don't know where the end point of that argument is.
And I lied. One more last thing.
Go ahead.
I think Ben posted up, in the bin there about the distortion of photos from the CCTV cameras. But I put a pretty good explanation on how things will distort and look, different to the eye. I know it's the front of his vehicle / car, but I'll do one for the back of his car for the exhaust. Maybe tomorrow or something. But it's pretty good explanation how those fisheye lenses will play tricks on you.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing that. Mid-gray also, I posted that down in the comments.
Mid-gray is you.
His analysis. And,
you are mid-gray.
Anything else, CJ? Is that good?
No, that's it.
Jack Tron, go ahead.
All right, thank you for having me up. So, two things. One, I want to say that something that Candace put out recently was this photo of Tyler Robinson at a Dairy Queen. And this was something that was pointed out to me recently, that in that photo, he is wearing a white logo Hurley hat. And the significant thing about this is not only is the suspected shooter in the video wearing that maroon shirt as Tyler, but also wearing that same hat. The same hat that he is, as I said, not just on the campus, but at the Dairy Queen and the following night when he turned himself into the police. So based on that, the evidence that this is the only real evidence that I have actually seen that has meant anything. And it makes her claims look even more absurd because it makes Robinson look even more guilty. So that just goes to my thinking. Like, I do not think that Candace is actually a very intelligent human being. Keep in mind, she recently said that she only just found out that lightning causes thunder and said that July 4th, 1776 was the Boston Tea Party.
She didn't know what temperature water freezes either, so there's that whole thing.
Yeah, not only that, she also thinks dinosaurs are fake.
There we go. No, look, I don't know.
Me too.
This is not. I agree with your assessment, but the fact is, I think most of what she's stating she knows to be false, but she knows that her gullible followers will believe it, will propagate it. Her downstreamers will perpetuate it, and kind of that's where we're at. The eclectic journalist, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Send it.
Okay, I just
Nish,
wanted to tell Blake something. Can you hear me, Blake?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a YouTube channel, and I did a 14-part series on Candace, going all the way back to before she started as a conservative, firebrand. But during that series, I was given information that seems to line up very well with the fact that she was pulling the clips that she used for that. Please be quiet for a second. That she used for that newspaper, the clippings she used of Eric's family. She was pulling those as far back as September 28th was one of the earliest ones. And there was an account that this whoever was clipping these papers, newspaper clippings from like the old sites and stuff where you get that, they had an account and we could see what else they were clipping, and it all kind of corresponded with her show. And so I put that in one of my...
So just to make sure I'm following this, basically it's suggesting that the really intrusive investigation into like Erica's life started even in September of last year.
Yes. And then the most significant thing that proved this account is connected to Candace somehow is the very next day, as I was editing that video, Ben Shapiro brought up that she had mentioned Clock Tower, a company in Russia. While she was in Russia, she mentioned a company. And I, in my video, you know, a couple days before that said, I don't know what this clock tower is, but it's also associated with this account. So it has to be related to her, very like, you know, possibly. And it was pulling clips on Erica's family and stuff in September. The stuff she talked about in The Bride of Charlie. And so I don't know if that information is beneficial to you guys at all.
I've ever heard of it. It's possible others know about it. Like I don't know what everyone else knows, but that is new.
Well, nobody really knows about me. I'm a very small YouTube channel, so that's why I wanted to let you know.
Can I find you under your moniker here?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I'll take a look at that. That's very interesting to me.
Oh,
And I know Gary as well. Like we're friends.
Awesome.
So.
I'll genuinely look into
she's friends.
because
I'm just shocked you claiming me publicly.
that would point towards what I said, which is I have felt that the plan was to do this sort of character assassination, Mean Girls, bully side type operation on Erica from the very beginning. I think all of the evidence is there, even in October or September, as you say, but definitely in October. And it's just escalated from there because there's been this effort to spin it that she only started going after Erica after she met her in December and decided she was lying to her or whatever. And that's just false. It's very clear that Erica was the target before then, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also I have a bonus little mini series to go on to my Candace Owens The Narrative Machine series that is for widows and for Erica Kirk specifically, where I have been going through historical treatment of widows and then historical treatment of public widows and
the widow. You shall honor the widow.
Has been going on with her, and that little series I'm doing is for Erica. So, just wanted to say that, but that's all I had to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nish and then Project Constitution Z Ashland. Nish, go ahead.
Hey, thanks for calling on me. I have to go to bed here. I should have gone to bed a long time ago, but I just wanted to say, Blake, you and everyone have handled themselves wonderfully against people, even like people like Z attacking, turning point chapters and things like that with lies. And I just want to thank you guys for handling it.
Wait, well, she just accused me of lying. So what was the lie?
Well, you can address that when it's your turn. Just let's keep it.
I'd need an answer from her, but
that's fine.
Anyway,
I'll keep her up.
Especially Erica, like the way that she's handled everything. I love that she is staying above board, and it's really inspiring. It was very inspiring to me when I lost my brother in January. It was an example on how to deal with grief by just running into the arms of Jesus. So I just want, hopefully she can hear that from you guys that when you see her, just that to keep it up. She's doing great. But as far as lies, Z, since you popped in, that like lame documentary, quote unquote, that you tried doing on the TPUSA chapters, it just showed that you have no idea how the process works, and you decided to, instead of ask TPUSA how the chapters are built and
what do I need? Hold on. What do I need to ask if I start a chapter on my own? I went through their process and I started one.
Because you guys did it the back way, and you found
what is the back way? To get through it. By signing up on the website as a student, that's the back way. Yeah, well, that would be how anybody starts a chapter.
Yeah, no, you call.
No. That is not the turning. No, that's not the Turning Point's way of doing it. They lay out the rules, yes. Not you. And the way to sign up for a chapter is through the Turning Point USA website.
No, my son started a chapter and he did it the right way, which is contacting first.
No, that's not how you do it.
And meeting in person.
No, actually, you actually can't do that because I've called the Turning Point USA headquarters, and they actually don't even take calls about chapters. So what you're saying is a lie.
Nope, I did.
Oh, okay, we'll show it. Prove it.
Local chapter. That's how I got a number, and that's how I got my son started his chapter in high school, which is still not on their website. because just because it's not on the high school website doesn't mean they're not meeting. And just because they're not on their website map doesn't mean they're not.
Okay. Well, why don't you ask your son to join my chapter?
Because he doesn't hang out with losers.
Oh, well, I'm the president, so you shouldn't be speaking to a president of a Turning Point USA chapter like that. It's very disrespectful.
Sure.
Continue.
Thanks. Good job on just making yourself look like a complete idiot.
Yeah, and how?
Good job fighting with each other, guys.
I think you actually looked like a complete idiot with like Neff, who's sitting in this chat, who has no explanation for why 90% of their chapters were fake.
Hold on.
Oh!
Again, you're already being disrespectful.
How am I being disrespectful? I'm just answering the question.
Like, that's disrespectful.
No, I'm just responding to her weird laugh because she doesn't have any explanation for why I was able to start a chapter.
She's not mocking you, and if you're going to mock people on this, I'm just going to boot you. So I want to give you a chance to speak, and I want some differing opinions here, and I want to talk to you guys, and I'm even going to let freaking Project Constitution, Colin, and talk in just a moment. But again, we're going to keep it civil, and we're not going to sit here and mock one another. Nish, did you have anything else to add to that?
Well, yeah, just basically, if you do end up finding that documentary, just don't fall for the lies. Like, the way that they did it was the way that they thought they should do it. That is supposed to be done. Just because you were able to create a chapter does not mean that that's how it's done. That was the first time it was done that way, actually, I confirmed. And because I'm in Georgia, so by the way, that's why I know. And the fact that the high schools are not having the clubs on their website, that's not proof of any collusion or nefariousness. The fact that it's not on the map for the chapters does not mean there's any nefarious actions, because my son's chapter is up and running. They had meetings all last year and this year. All this year. They tried to do it last year, but they had issues. And they're still not on the website. So the fact that you're saying that that's proof that there's nefariousness, it's like you think that they just say, hey, donors, before you donate to us, please look at our website. That's how many chapters we have. No, they have different documentation that they hand and they show to their donors to then get donations. And your club didn't get any money from donors. So with you got put on a website, Pin.
All right,
that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong.
Quick, I think we're tracking the left and right views on that. Not politically, but just again, Blake, do you have any input on that? I don't know how chapters are started, how they're documented, or anything else.
This is outside my wheelhouse. I don't know how like Turning Point USA proper is organized, or it's
everything's
chapters.
Outside Blake's wheelhouse. He doesn't know anything.
I don't know how like 3,000 people or whatever the number was were at our chapter leadership summit over the weekend. I'm sure there's the case where some chapters are very large and very active, and some chapters are smaller, and some probably like start, there's a wave of enthusiasm, and then there's not really anyone leading it, so it falls apart. And some, I even actually spoke to someone at the leadership summit who talked about how like, oh, we had a chapter and then it imploded and then I restarted the chapter. Like, I'm sure that's a story that happens. Something similar happens in organizations like the Boy Scouts. When I was in it, there'd be a few troops that were amazing, and there'd be other troops that would start and then they'd go under, and then someone would restart it. That's how a lot of organizations are. But I'm just speaking generally. Like I said, I don't know exactly the way Turning Point organizes those things or how it operates. That's not my wheelhouse. I work on the show.
Fair enough. All right, Colin, go ahead.
Thanks for letting me up, Gary, for one. And I just got a couple, I'm not going to hold everybody up, but I got a couple quick questions for Blake. About the chapters, though, real quick, I will just say that it wasn't just Z. I mean, Z started it with the documentary, but there were multiple other independent investigators like Jay Apps, Honest Ash, and a bunch of others that had gone through your guys' own chapter list and called them and verified that they were not actual chapters. So,
Colin, let me just stop you there. I don't think we're going to get any clarification on that tonight. I mean, that's not what Blake, he doesn't have anything to input on that. So that's not what he does.
Can I say something? Can I finish, just answer that real quick?
Sure, Nish, go ahead.
It's because it mirrors what Blake said. which is what they have access to. It's not what they hand to their donors, which is the biggest, where it matters the most. They're saying that they're trying to rack in donations. No, when you're thinking about donating, you actually go to the source and they give you updated numbers. But you are able to reach first via a website or via calling random chapters, and then, you know, like the people in the administration and admin, when you walk in, you ask them, hey, is there an American Club here? They'd say no, because they have no idea. So just because you make phone calls and ask questions does not mean that there's nefariousness. What matters is what document do they hand to the donors.
Well, and to further kind of, I don't know, delineate what's going on here, I don't know what that has to do with the Tyler Robinson case whatsoever. I know that this is a continued smear campaign at TPUSA. Obviously, the same system was underway while Charlie Kirk, and if that's what we want to do, that you guys want to continue to just smear TPUSA and say it's some sort of corrupt organization, you're welcome to do that in your space. That's not the topic tonight. That's not the prompt. So what else you got, Colin?
Yeah, well, like I said, that's not why I'm here. I just wanted to make that point as well.
Sure.
Blake, I do have a question for you. Where is Charlie's body? Has his body been cremated, or is it in the ground somewhere? Because there's a lot of questions right now as far as that a lot of donors actually want to know, that I've spoken to personally. They want to know what's happening with Charlie's body.
Why would that be their business? But go ahead. Like,
that's what I'm going to say. That is none of your business, you creep.
Oh.
What about the video of Charlie allegedly saying that he wants Erica to take over TPUSA if something happens to him?
We've already covered that at length earlier.
Real, he said
no, we haven't, because we haven't released that video yet, and I want to know whether he will either release the video unedited or whether he will allow Candace to do it, because she has that video and has asked to release it.
Candace has the full video. Why don't you go nag her to release it? It seems pretty weird that this like big crusading truth teller is not releasing. Well, supposedly has to. I guess you should go nag her
TPUSA
about
has
it.
the rights,
We've released
Blake.
the video. It's obviously real. You guys are going to come claim that it's AI generated, no matter what we do, exactly as I predicted months ago. And we're not.
Well, when you release the,
not going to get bossed around by people where even if we release it, you'll be like, well, now you need to release the entire. You need to release the entire event footage so that we know it wasn't there. There's nothing funny about this. And then actually, you need to release.
No, that's not what we. That's not what we asked, Blake. No, what we asked for is we want the section that you guys released, and with the whole, you released it with a whole bunch of edited things and music behind it, and we just want the raw, unedited section, just that same section. We're not asking for the whole video.
Give it to you.
We want that unedited section.
Erica is like Maverick from Top Gun today. Like, why are we going to get bossed?
I'm asking you serious questions, and my investigation, everything I've done, has been in search of the truth. You're the only one that you guys have been the only ones that have
already released the video, and exactly as anticipated.
But you haven't. And Candace said, "But okay, so
we can read.
Can you just say?
And you'd say that was fake too.
Well, you said Candace has the video. You said she can release it. So you're telling me you guys will not copyright strike her?
That's the whole video. So I said, why don't you go nag her?
She does say. She does say she had that.
Go release it. You should go nag her. I don't have any idea what she has. I don't send things to Candace.
She asked you directly whether she has your guys' permission, whether TPUSA will give her permission to release the video.
I don't work for TPUSA, and since when has Candace gotten?
Well, you know people that do.
Who the fuck does Blake work for then?
Who's he work for?
Erica told her to stop, so Erica said, "Please stop," and she said, "Actually, I was just kidding about that." So, like. What
about
this is suddenly this like honest actor who's just like,
all right, so we're not going to come to any resolution on that.
Any other?
I mean, that's just like TPUSA has stated their position on this multiple times. Like, I would rather keep it to the preliminary hearing. What has been said, what new has come out. If you got anything on that, drop it in the next 15 seconds.
Okay, I got one more question. What about the audio from the Rode microphone that Charlie?
Good boy.
Can we get that?
What does that have to do with anything?
Everything, you
Everything,
brain
you
dead
stupid
retard.
idiot.
It has to do with everything. That you know, if that shows that there isn't an explosion, then more people would believe your 30-06 story.
Colin, what proves there was no explosion is that there was no explosion. Nobody heard anything. Nobody saw anything. I'm so like
there's pictures of the explosion.
No, there's one frame of motion blur. I already explained this earlier. This is simple physics.
There's bruises
Hold on.
on
Who cares about bruises?
where the receiver was.
Hold on. Listen, Colin. I'll let you respond afterwards. But listen.
I was at the shooting. I was 20 feet away. I heard a crack. The crack was in front of me in the direction of the crowd. It was not in the direction of Charlie. That is why when the shot happens, you can actually see in video of me, I look up first rather than jerking my head up to the right, which is what I would do if I heard an explosion right next to me. Instead, I heard a crack out from the direction of the audience because there was a rifle shot from that direction.
Then show us the road, Mike.
I agree. I'm not disputing that. I do think there was a rifle shot as well.
Okay, so here's the proof there was no explosions, Colin. If you guys are saying that it was Pettin, all right, Pettin burns at around 4,000 degrees centigrade. That's literally hotter than the surface of the sun. You're telling me that there was no burn marks, no nothing. There wasn't any smoke or anything.
No, there was burn mark. That's what I'm saying. I've shown them on my channel.
Do you know what the burn marks from a 4,000 degree explosion would look like? And you're telling me that there was burn marks on Charlie, but somehow there was no burn marks on the shirt itself that is so thin that you can almost see through it.
Go compare it to the injuries from the pager attacks over, the guys in Lebanon.
I have, and you still have an omnidirectional explosion.
So very similar.
It is nothing like that. You see parts of their clothing and everything else go flying through the air. It's not even close to that. Like, you guys are delusional if you think that this physics-defying nonsense. And I love it. Look, I love it. I love that you guys. I love that Candace. Hold on, shut up. I love that you guys are pushing this, and I hope you stick with it.
Shut up. Wow.
I thought it was you, but I'll totally you. It's my space. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you're saying, you think there was a rifle shot. So they took a guy and they walked him up onto a roof with a rifle and had him aim in the direction of Charlie and sync up, pulling a trigger at the exact same moment as this, like, hypothetical exploding neck microphone. Like, at that point, why wouldn't the conspiracy just involve shooting him? Like, what's the value add of throwing in this exploding neck microphone? Like, I don't mean to be like cruel here.
To cause chaos, to muddy up the works, to make people wonder, to cause exactly what's going on now with so many theories of what actually happened. They want
like a bad TV show, like, and they did it this way to sow confusion and fear. That's like a line that George Lucas would write in the Star Wars prequels. All of the evidence points towards, unfortunately, Charlie being killed by a rifle shot from distance, because that matches what happened.
Then show us the mic.
The sound people heard. It matches the fact that we have video of a guy climbing onto the roof. It matches spent rifle cartridge being found. It matches the rifle itself being found. It matches that a 30-06 bullet was taken out of Charlie's body. All of the
actually it wasn't, because did you hear Candace release today with
no evidence.
The round that they found, the ATF ballistics expert actually said that it was, I forget exactly the diameter she said, but on her show today.
Hold on. It was a range of 286 to 301. And she said that was specifically, it was important to give a range because of the damage and deformity of the round. Now, here's what the conspirators don't understand, is you're confirming that it went through a 30 caliber barrel. Do you understand what the bore diameter of a 30 caliber round is versus a 30 caliber rifle compared to the actual diameter of the projectile itself? It is 300 versus 308. And the reason for that is when the round goes into the barrel, it actually gets squished down a little bit to make sure that the pressure is maintained through the rear. And that's exactly what happens. So between deformity that would happen when it actually hits a target, hits bone, hits his spine, and deforms all to pieces, yes, they're going to get range because it's all messed up and you can't get an exact range. But the problem, what you guys are saying, is that it doesn't match anything else. It's still a 30 caliber rifle round.
Well, I don't know enough about ballistics to say either way on that. But I will. What about there were at least 25 different people there that said they heard a firecracker, not a gunshot.
Well, it depends on where you're going to be, Colin. Like people are going to hear differently. If you have a line of sight, and it really doesn't matter what everybody hears. But look,
He just said it matters what it hears. So did Blake Neff.
Therefore, a direct line for the audio to get to them from everybody to the left. And still, even with that entire area, the entire courtyard is even when I was there, like you couldn't hardly hear over the waterfall. Like the acoustics of that are insane, and it's going to bounce off everything. You have nothing but hard, flat surfaces, so the round is going to bounce off. But what really
So then, how are you sure what you heard when it came to a rifle shot?
Is Bartholomew's video? He had the best audio source there. You can clearly hear that it's a larger boom. It had the best dynamic range of any audio source other than probably what TPUSA had there.
He did not actually. UVU Review had the best audio of that event.
I've listened to them both. I don't know what they were using for audio source, but Bartholomew was just here. I don't know if he's still there, but you can hear that his microphone has a much larger dynamic range. It doesn't clip when the round goes off. And by the way, you're not even, and we also know that there was a supersonic event. I don't know what you're claiming, because first you're claiming that there was a round and there's a supersonic event. I guess you guys are going with that we shot in the back of the trunk or whatever was going on there. But
I don't know if it was from a drone or from the Losi building or from another roof, but I do know, I do believe another shot was fired. I do believe a shot was fired from the roof.
Welcome to believe that.
But that's not what killed Charlie. What killed Charlie was the exploding receiver that was on his waist, on his belt, in line with his neck.
Now it's on his belt?
Absolutely.
So we're not going with the Rode microphone that's attached to his collar?
No, it's the receiver, which is on his belt, which is the same exact diameter. Yes, it was.
No, it was. Do you understand the Rode mic?
Yes, it was. I have pictures of it. I've shared pictures of it on my channel.
The Rode mic itself is actually the transmitter, is what it is. You guys are
transmitter.
So it's a transmitter. That is what's different than some of the Sennheiser models or whatever else. It is a self-contained wireless that clips on with the magnetic clip there. I have them. I have pictures of them. I've shown them on videos.
And it can also be worn on a belt, and Charlie wore his on this belt that day, and there's pictures of it. And I've shown them. Yes, he did. I've shown the picture of it.
The black magnet is what's holding it to
his collar. And that's where the bruise is. No. And that's where the bruise is underneath his shirt, exactly where that thing was clipped to his belt.
So again, what we have is something that explodes so violently that it busts the mic into 1,000 pieces. We have
it was a shape charge too, by the way. It wasn't.
Colin, a shape charge is still an omnidirectional explosion. It doesn't direct 100% of anything in one direction. It has part of its energy sort of directed. And I had Matt Tardio, who's an actual explosives expert, to come on to talk about how ridiculous this idea of a shape charge is. But we still have
that's why there's a bruise on his stomach. Absolutely.
So we have a bruise on the stomach, something that went off at 4,000 degrees centigrade, hotter than the surface of the sun, and it didn't melt his shirt. It didn't burn his shirt. We don't see any freaking explosion. You could have put a firecracker underneath Charlie's shirt, and you lit that off.
How do you answer the air puffing out of his shirt? You could see the air puffing out of the armpit of his shirt.
I've explained this. It's the movement of the pendant itself. And how do we explain that? I've explained that on multiple podcasts. We have the round that hit him in the neck, probably in the C3, C2, somewhere around there, which is directly in line with the back of his necklace. It has rapid acceleration of the back of the necklace, very short, but very violent. That causes the pendant to go up. It causes all of the shirt movement. Like, the explanation is pretty easy. It's not that difficult. You guys are making it into some sci-fi nonsense that doesn't even make sense. All right, we're going to land you right there. I'm going to bring up.
Can I ask one more question?
No, you can recite. I'm going to have everybody go. I want to get everybody through here. So, in a minute, you can come back up.
Okay, thanks for having me. Blake, so I've got two quick questions for you. The first one is that, so, Turning Point
Sorry,
USA,
do we
you guys
wanna
have
end
been
it there?
spreading conspiracies for a long time. You guys
Just
spread
wanna end it?
misinformation about COVID and the
Okay, I
vaccines.
was just wondering, because
You
if you
were
were,
with
I
Jack
think it's fine.
Posobiec, who's famous for the Pizzagate conspiracy that ruined a lot of people's lives, including the deep state. You guys also spread probably the most harmful one, which was that the 2020 election was rigged, which, by the way, resulted in you guys paying for buses that went to Washington, D.C., which left multiple cops.
How does this tie into the problem?
Well, because I want, it is about tied to the problem. Let me land my plane here. So hold on. Can I just finish what I'm going to say?
No, not just yet.
Well, no. Let me finish what I'm going to say. It also resulted in police officers that got brutalized. It also resulted in the doxing of election workers. Okay.
Are we
And
pushing
so-
J6 nonsense?
Hold
Or
on.
is it that
Can I finish my question,
bullshit.
please?
No,
I've
you're
been
not-
like
you're not just
respectful
gonna-
waiting. I just want to finish my question and get.
Finish the question.
Okay. So, which again resulted in election workers being doxxed, which you were just complaining about yourself. So my question to you is, why should we care about Candace Owens spreading conspiracies about you when you and Turning Point USA have been spreading conspiracies and doxing average?
All right, look, stay on the
Oh, they cut her off. Oh, they cut her off.
Argue with a liberal about what actually happened on January 6th. One of the things that I was going to ask her before I kicked her out was, is she indeed
Oh,
Act Blue? Which she is. I already know the answer to that.
oh.
Look, at the end of the day, Z is totally tied to the leftist Democrat organizations that have always been trying to destroy TPUSA. Like, stick to the prompt. It's really simple as that. Go
Oh,
ahead, Blake. What were you saying?
so no freedom of speech here.
I mean, I didn't have too much to add. I was just exasperated because it's like,
Yeah.
you're mad at me for stuff that happened in 2020. I literally, I don't work for Turning Point USA. I've only worked for the Charlie Kirk Show since 2022. So like, I would just point out, like, whatever you're mad at me about, like, I couldn't even answer it if I felt inclined to do so. And on top of that, like, I will be frank, like, I actually think, at least while I've worked for him, I think Charlie's rhetoric on the 2020 election was pretty responsible. I think he saw some things as shady, but he often said, like, the worst stuff that was going on was stuff that was semi-legal. That was basically like election rules that were changed going into the 2020 election that made it easier for shady behavior to happen. But like, we don't need to go down this route. Like, nothing in that vein is remotely comparable to the sustained, like, non-stop derangement that is emanating from Candace Owens over the past 10 months. Candace Owens is effectively, I won't say full-time job because I'm not sure she has her partner.
Again, I don't know if it's his connection or.
Oh, is my sound bad?
Stuff in mine.
You sound good to me. Okay, all right. Like,
Okay.
Nothing compares remotely to the fact that Candace Owens has spent a sustained 10 months making effectively every episode of her show, finding some new way to target Erica, target Turning Point, target other people who are in the Turning Point universe, target random family members of theirs, has happened at times, for 10 months in pursuit of a conspiracy theory that has literally never had anything to back it up. Like, it inspires comment and notice because there really is essentially nothing like it that I can recall in my lifetime. Like, even as a comparison, even the stuff with the Sandy Hook parents, that was the stuff a few people ran with. And I just don't think it ever, like, Alex Jones got sued for it. I don't think Alex Jones made that the only subject of the show for a 10-month period. And that's what's happened here. I just have never seen anything like it in my life.
Hey, real quick, just I thought the prompt was self-explanatory. Let me narrow it down for everybody just so that we're clear. Look, what I want to hear is why Tyler Robinson, whatever evidence you have that Tyler Robinson is not guilty, and or if somebody other than him is guilty, I want to hear the evidence. And specifically, Erica Kirk, TPUSA, if you have evidence of that, please present it. If you have evidence that Tyler Robinson is not guilty, that was released during the preliminary hearing, I would love to hear that. I think Dr. Strange was up next, then Tyler, then Ashland, then Bronson. Dr. Strange, go ahead.
Hi, folks. I really appreciate you folks holding this space. And I really appreciate Blake taking time to answer a question. And hearing from individuals like Blake can put a lot of things to rest. So I thank you for making time. You were in another space a few days back, and I tried to come up, but it had like thousands of people, so I think the list was too long. I just had a question regarding some stuff that you said there. I'm not sure if it's clear to me, but did you say you were interviewed by the feds or the authorities, or you weren't, related to, did you have any communications with them regarding the assassination? Blake, are you able to hear me?
Sorry, I was muted there. I have not been formally interviewed by the FBI.
Okay, so no communications whatsoever.
I didn't say no communications whatsoever. I said I've never been like interviewed by the FBI, like as part of like I don't think I've ever given them like a witness testimony or something.
Okay, and in the same space, you also said that Charlie Kirk had told you that he feared for his life from like a transgender or trans. Did he communicate that to you verbally or through some text?
It was via text, it was verbally, as I recall.
Right. And did you ever like share that with the authorities? Did you think that would be useful to share in light of the fact that he had shared that concern?
No, and he wasn't speaking when he said that. I don't. When I remember it happening, I mentioned it many times that he said this, but it wasn't mentioned like, oh, I got a specific threat from like a tranny and that has filled me with fear. I think he was speaking to like, there have been numerous shootings over the past few years by transgender individuals. There was that one at the Covenant School in 2023. There was one in Canada literally only a few days before Charlie was shot, I recall. So I think he was thinking of that when he mentioned it. But Charlie was aware that a lot of people hated him, and sometimes he made reference to that. I know sometimes he got serious threats that he did like send to the police. That was not stuff I was involved in, but I know it happened. And sometimes he said stuff like, oh yeah, like, you know, these transgender lunatics might try to kill me. He said things to that effect.
Yeah, that makes sense. That all makes sense, and I appreciate that. But you didn't think afterwards, after the assassination, that, hey, you know, he did share this concern. Maybe I should go to the authorities and let them know that this is what he had told me?
No, I don't think that would actually have much of a bearing on this specific shooting. What I did do and make sure got to the authorities is like specific TikToks or other videos that we saw that we thought were eyebrow raising. Like I've mentioned this, the one that plays like the creepy music where the person like keeps glancing to the side, like that really creeped us out. And that had actually been seen by a member of our staff before the shooting happened. And she'd made note of it at the time. And so like I cite that as an example. Like we did make sure that stuff was passed on to law enforcement, because we did think that was relevant. But I don't think Charlie generally expressed the belief that a left winger, in particular a transgender person, might try to kill him. I don't think that would be relevant to an investigation. I mean, if they'd asked me about it, sure, I would tell them, but I don't think that is something that bears sending them the way specific things that made me feel suspicious would bear sending to them, which I did do.
Thanks again. I appreciate that. I don't have any other questions, but I really do appreciate you making time to attend these sessions. And I hope that you can continue to do this because you can put a lot of these questions to rest. And, you know, a lot of people would appreciate it. And thank you for the host and co-host for hosting this. It's a great space. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, Blake, just to clarify some of those. Number one, we obviously heard Charlie talk about that specific. Well, I think he said some blue-haired.
He said
something.
Blue-haired jihadis as like when he was on Bill Maher, but that was not the only time. I will admit it's been almost a year at this point. I don't remember the exact manner in which it happened. I just do recall in the days leading up to the shooting, he said something to the effect of like, oh, like one of these trannies might try to shoot me, I think is the way he might have said it. It wasn't burned into my head because it didn't seem super memorable at the time, but it had been recent enough that I did recall him saying that when the shooting actually happened.
Well, and I did interview Brian Harple, and he talked about how they were constantly getting death threats that they were turning over to the FBI. Can you speak to anything along those lines?
That's the securities realm. I don't know the details of those. All I know is that he had gotten threats in the past, and sometimes they were serious enough to be turned over. That's just stuff I heard about, but I don't know details.
Fair enough. All right. I believe Ashlyn's up next.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, can. Send it.
Okay. Really quickly. On August 21st, about 3 weeks before the assassination, I believe the Alex McFarland speaker series, in between Charlie Kirk's response about whenever he was like complimenting Candace and speaking on their friendship, he said, and I quote, "If you believe what I believe, shouldn't you want me to be friends with people that don't agree with us? Shouldn't you want me to also be a tool of influence?" End quote. And this would mean that what he's telling people is the connection is no longer just about enjoying someone's company or bonding over shared interests. Instead, it is maintained with a specific objective, which would be to shift their perspectives, values, or behaviors toward their own. And a big part of what Charlie Kirk did was try to bridge the ideological divides, and engaging with people outside of your bubble prevents the creation of an echo chamber, and it allows for dialogue where it otherwise would not exist. And I think when people are listening to Candace say that she's best friends with him all the way to the end, he made it very clear 3 weeks before his death, if no one was aware, how he now viewed their relationship. And I think it's very important that people understand what he had said. And that's all I need.
Yeah. We've talked a little bit more about this. Andrew's been saying a lot about this over the last few days. Because he was more, he knew Candace. He had more of those interactions with her. But it is like, Charlie was well aware Candace was moving in a direction he found distressing and greatly disagreed with. Charlie also was not a person who liked to publicly disavow or denounce people. So he kind of quietly moved away from her, but he wasn't going to, he really hated moral blackmail, as we've said. And so he disliked the idea that you have to go on his show and be like, I was once friends with this person, but now I disavow them. That's not the kind of guy he was. He found that sort of performance very ugly. But the truth is he was very distressed by what Candace was doing. And that's why in spring 2024, Candace is doing events with Turning Point, where Charlie's doing events out west and she's doing events out east. And you stop seeing that by the end of 24, by early 25. Even though we're doing tons of events, she's not with them anymore. And that is a product of that split. And yeah, you're right. Charlie was a guy, he tried to maintain a big tent coalition. That's why he was so excited about getting RFK to endorse Trump. That's why he was excited about Maha. He liked various ways of expanding the tent. At the same time, he was not an absolutist of everyone is welcome. He did have an ability to say, I think these people are sinister, bad faith actors. They're not people I disagree with, but can have discussions with. They're people who might be ideologically closer to me than a lot of people who are in the tent, yet they have a wicked agenda, or they have some specific view I consider totally unacceptable. He considered full bore, as he called it, Jew hate, major anti-Semitism. He considered that unacceptable.
Is it weird that Blake's talking and our total viewer count right now is 666?
He was trying to manage the
Just
Israel
saying,
issue, as an
guys.
example. He was saying, we need to be able to chart a path that we're not doing whatever Israel wants. We're also not tolerating anti-Semitism. We have to find this path that is durable, that the future of the right can be in. And he took a ton of crap from super pro-Israel people. Some of them called him anti-Semite for it. And I know that was really hurtful to him. And on the other hand, a lot of people who now claim to be Charlie's champions, who are only fighting for what he believed in, a lot of those people were calling him a Zio shill fake Christian. And Yeah, that's what he had to endure because he was a coalition builder who fought hard to hold people together. He endured a lot of hate for
settled
that.
in for this and broke her
But I have to go
heels.
soon, and I know we have at least a couple more people in queue. So let's go to the next one.
Who's running and broke her heels, poor girl. Yeah, I ran.
I guess I'll go. Blake, the last time that I spoke to you, you said that on the night of September 10th, you stayed in Orem at a hotel.
If I said that, I misspoke. I don't believe I stayed in Orem. I think I stayed in Salt Lake.
This is diligent, guys.
I mean, I don't know exactly where it was, but I stayed in the same place a bunch of other people stayed, and we had to drive for a bit.
How do you not remember?
This is diligent, guys.
My mic was muted. I said Bronson was next. Diligent, I'll bring you back up.
Oh, come on.
But it's not your turn. Bronson, go ahead.
Oh, come on.
Okay, I do have a question for Blake. I can wait. I don't know if you're closing the space out soon or not, but I did have a question or two for Colin, if he's willing to answer.
I got dropped down. Can I finish?
No, Diligent. What I was trying to say was I had already stated who was going to be next. Bronson was next, and
I didn't hear. I'm sorry. I didn't hear anything.
No, fair enough. My mic was off. I was muted. It was my bad. All right, go ahead, Bronson. What do you want to ask, Dylan? Colin, rather.
Well, there's a couple of questions for Colin.
There you go. He's up.
I don't have to do that right this
second.
No,
go ahead.
If Blake's in a hurry.
That'll make it fun.
Well,
so this is
okay,
Bronson,
fine.
I think.
Hey, Colin, real quick. This is super easy. You were just talking to Gary, and you just said that you didn't know enough about ballistics or something to be able to have a conversation about that. Whatever you guys were talking about. I'm just curious. What do you have knowledge of that gives you any confidence to talk about any of the stuff you've been saying on X? For example, one of your most recent posts talks about the fact that there was dust found in the barrel, and that is 100% proof that the rifle couldn't have been fired. I'm just wondering why you just spread bullshit daily and you know nothing about what you're talking about.
Okay, well, that's a lie. And secondly, there is dust in the barrel. I showed the video where she said that. And if there's dust in the barrel, that means that the gun was not fired. Otherwise, it would have blown the dust out of it. Do you deny that?
Yes, you're retarded.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I would venture to say, again, this is the problem. And again, we want to try to keep this good faith and civil. What I would say is that it is very reasonable to think that we have the gun being shoved through the trees into that bush is going to get dust in the barrel. And by the way, I don't know what she means by dust.
No, it's not debris. It was dust.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
She specifically said
is there dust? Is there
delineated from debris from dust?
Hold on. Is there dust going to be in trees and when you shove it into the location where we saw pictures of it? Absolutely, there's going to be dust. I don't know what she means by it. Does she mean dust by?
Not within a couple of hours when they found it. No.
Well, when you the process of shoving it in through and probably scraping the ground at the same time, the problem is you don't know what that is. And the problem
it would get debris maybe, but not dust.
Well, you would get dust in there. There wouldn't be debris in there. Whatever.
There would be debris in there, dirt from shoving on the ground. Dust
Colin.
is from it sitting and not being used. Listen to me, Colin.
Listen, the only thing, whatever would be able to get into that barrel would have to be small enough to get through whatever towel or whatever else is going in there. It will keep the large debris out, but it wouldn't necessarily keep the sticks. The fact is, I don't know what she even meant by that. I don't know how that dust got there, but the fact is, you don't either. And so to immediately assume, and this is the problem that I have, and I think that Bronson's touching on, is when
it doesn't matter how it got there. The dust, just the fact that it's there by itself proves that the gun was not fired. Same thing with the safety on it proves that the gun. No, it is. No, I'm correct. And just it also proves the gun was not fired because of the safety.
No, I have proven that incorrect.
No,
I've already had this discussion 1,000 times. We have a aftermarket safety on that gun. This has been proven.
No, it didn't. It was on aftermarket.
Okay.
The pictures prove it.
I'm gonna send you the pictures that prove it. Because I have, unlike you, I actually have a Mauser, and I can tell you what the original flag safety
I don't
looks
care
like.
what your Mauser is. I know what the original flag safety looks like too, and I looked at it on the gun that they showed in the courtroom, and it matches exactly what the original military safety.
Gary,
No, it
we don't
isn't.
want you
No,
to
it's
whip
not.
out your
That's
Mauser.
still a stock photo.
Not
too?
wanting it.
Still a stock photo, Colin.
The one that was originally shown, yes.
Holy fuck! Holy fuck, Gary! Come on.
I got nothing, man. I'm gonna post the picture that proves that that is not a stock safety on there. That is an aftermarket safety on there. So,
But since you brought me up, I got one more
Go
question
ahead.
for Blake, if you let me ask you.
go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
so
a generous space
when you
host.
when you got, and then I'll jump down and I'll get off. So when you guys rented the SUV, Danny Phillips was in charge of procuring that, right?
I have no idea. I was never involved in renting a vehicle.
Okay. Now, do you know? I know you had confirmed that Tyler, or whoever you guys think was Tyler, or whoever I don't think it was Tyler, but you confirmed that that person supposedly talked to a Turning Point representative. Was that you or Danny, maybe?
Police say that he did. I suspect that is true because I don't think the police would say it otherwise. I have never spoken to Tyler Robinson. I don't think Danny has ever spoken to Tyler Robinson. It would be pretty unlikely because I'm pretty sure we both came in with Charlie, which means we only arrived. I can't remember the exact time, but it was definitely not at like 9 a.m.
So the FBI or the police have never questioned you guys at Turning Point, specifically asking about this, whoever interacted with this person. So I find it hard to believe that you wouldn't know, especially since you were actually there that day. You wouldn't know who interacted with the alleged suspect.
I was not at UVU at the time that this interaction happened, and I don't know who it was with.
Okay, fair enough.
All right,
That's
Diligent,
all I got to say.
Diligent, I'll
Thank
get to you. One witness and Tyler Young were ahead of you. One witness, go ahead.
Hey, brother. Thank you kindly for hosting a space and also displaying diligence to allow proper jurisprudence to be executed in every manner of patience and decency, properly respecting the boundaries of the family first and foremost. Much needed in this endeavor for sure. I just wanted to say thank you guys for doing that. And one of the common threads that we've seen is a bunch of I don't know. And still yet again, I'm not sure. And I'm just asking questions. And that was, and in fact is, the thread that runs through this endeavor among people who do not know how to display proper boundaries and allow jurisprudence and a system that is designed to execute it. Perhaps not always perfectly, but to be sure, far better than any of the internet gumshoots will be able to execute. And I just wanted to say thank you, men, for being decent in that endeavor. And imagine, guys, asking about someone's body while they're dead. And I just wanted to close with saying these good words from the Son of David. He said, wherever the carcass is, the vultures gather. So how about not being a vulture and predatory in your endeavors, and believe in the good and the best in others, and in doing so choose life. And I say that to you all with 100% confidence. The damage you have done to many, many families and many political movements is, to be sure, untold, like tearing open a feather pillow and casting it to the wind. So be measured in your approach and your endeavor to search for the truth, because you don't want to be carried away by the winds from your own mouth, to be sure.
Thanks for that one witness. I think those were wise words. Bronson, real quick, I did realize that in the midst of it all, I might have cut you off. Did you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I did have a question for Blake.
Yeah, go ahead.
Blake, I'm just wondering, and you can answer this or you don't have to, it doesn't matter. I have a feeling you're not a big fan of Candace Owens. Did you ever like Candace Owens at all?
I had a long period where I wasn't that aware of her. So like I knew she was like a conservative personality, but like I wouldn't I don't think I ever watched her videos. I don't think I ever saw her stuff when she was at Prager. Like, there's a lot of right-wing personalities out there. And as you might guess, I'm a bit of a, what do they call it, a word seller or whatever. Like, I sometimes joke that if I didn't like work for these shows, I would never watch them. I'm much more of a reader guy. So what I will say is I didn't know that much about her. I will say I became more aware, really, honestly, probably after 10/7, I started to pay attention because she started to like really ramp up her rhetoric about Israel, the Jews, all of that. And what I actually was warning Charlie around that time is basically, Charlie, I've seen what happens when people get going down this rabbit hole, and usually they don't stop halfway. In fact, I've never seen it stop halfway. They always end up going further and further and getting crazier and crazier. And I think that's probably what's going to happen to Candace too.
Yeah,
and so I will say, like, people have joked. There's like an old clip of Thought Crime where they're talking about her, and like Charlie says something about her, and I kind of have a little disgruntled look on my face. And what I will say is I bear that as a mark of pride because I
got
feel
that
like
video
I've
that Blake's
had a
talking
pretty
about
good
right
track
now.
record of sensing that there's bad news from this woman. And I think that that's been borne out by events of the past year.
Thanks, Blake. I appreciate it.
Tyler Young, go ahead.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate you, Blake, for coming in here. And obviously, you get a lot of pressure from people all the time. And it's just, it's nice of you to put yourself out there like this. So appreciate you. I wanted to ask you, first of all, is there anything that Candace has said about the case that has given you pause? Has she made a single good point in your opinion?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Something come to mind for you?
There's several things that she said that have given me pause. Like I have a long list I could go through, but the main thing is, for example, why did TPUSA get up on the chair that Charlie died in, step on it, and take the SD cards before the FBI could get to them and destroy the chain of custody?
Last time, I think he wanted to get the card to make sure no one stole it from the scene as it was happening. And I guess you can complain that you would have done something differently, but I think that was a reasonable course of action for him to take. And there's absolutely no evidence that the footage was tampered with or that it played any role in any kind of conspiracy of covering up what happened. And so I think it's absurd that people fixate on it. And as someone who knows the guy in question, I think it is manifestly insane to believe he was involved in any kind of conspiracy to kill Charlie. And I think it's hurtful and ridiculous that he's faced the harassment and targeting that he's had, because he's a perfect case in point of the kind of guy who's just been a diligent employee, has never sought fame or publicity in any way. And people have decided to harass and terrorize him because they're committed to weird conspiracies that they can't back up. So no, I don't think that gives me any pause. I think I know the person in question, and it's insane to think that he did anything bad.
Okay. All right. And what do you think about the FBI paving over the crime scene within 2 days? What did you think about when you heard that?
I don't believe it was the FBI that paved it over. I believe it was UVU that paved it over.
It wasn't in 2 days. It was on Sunday. Charlie was killed on Tuesday. Tuesday.
Perfectly normal.
Yeah, it is perfectly normal.
No, the go ahead was from Governor Cox and Cash.
I saw a podcast with the guy.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't
exactly what
verify
Ali
that
said.
he was the guy, but he was claiming to be the guy that was the paver. And he said that he got a call from Governor Cox and Patel to pave over
That's
the scene.
incorrect. Hold on. He was.
Is
No,
that
I
incorrect?
talked to him personally, and that's not what he said on the podcast. What he said on the podcast was one of the guys that he was working with at UVU claimed that, and he said he didn't know if that was true. I've talked to his Dan. personally, and he confirmed that. I asked him that specifically. He's like, I don't know if this guy was telling me the truth or not. But he was like, yeah, Governor Cox and the FBI want this done. I think that's worth exploring, but it doesn't point to anything that
It does.
It does.
I mean, where are you going with this? I mean, at the end of the
What do
day,
you mean,
we talked
where
about
is he
this
going
earlier,
with it?
that wasn't a crime scene.
You need to go
The
ahead.
crime scene was done
What?
being
Since when does Gary?
Hold on, I'll let you
Since
talk
when
in a minute.
does- since
Dylan,
when
you
does
and I can
the
talk
FBI
about this in a minute. I'll happily have the discussion. But the fact is that wasn't a crime scene. The crime scene
What?
was over with. They returned the property back to UVU. It doesn't make I don't know. The fact is, I don't know beyond that.
It wasn't a crime.
It wasn't a crime scene. No,
It wasn't a crime scene.
What are you talking about? Of course, it was a crime scene. What are you
I was
talking
at a
about?
crime scene when they processed the crime scene, and then it was done, and they were done processing the crime scene. They handed it over to you. Is it a crime scene in perpetuity?
What
When
the
does this
fuck?
stop being a crime
Why
scene?
do you
How
have to
is he
pave?
saying?
Why do you have to pave
Well, we
over it?
talked about this, and I it's unfortunate that we have to litigate this whole thing. But
Okay, we can move on. No, we can move on. It's fine.
I want to touch on it.
Okay.
The fact is that you have biologics all over the place. This is standard operating procedure, and by the way, insurance recommend
Standard
that you
operating
remediate sites
procedure,
like this.
ladies and
In the
gentlemen.
same way that if something gruesome happened in your home and there is the blood and debris all over your ceiling or floors or whatever else, you're going to come in there and you're going to mitigate that. And on top of that, they were trying to get it back to a usable area by Monday when the kids came back for school. And so, yeah, they're going to renovate that, hopefully mitigate the trauma involved with that. Like, you guys got no evidence that they were like removing. All of the evidence was removed, and it was done 24/7 over 3 full days by the FBI, SBI, ATF, and multiple other agencies. I talked to law enforcement there on the site. I confirmed that when I was there. They were here 24/7. It was the only question that he would actually answer, an Orem police officer that was there at UVU. So whatever evidence was there, they got. And they decided, UVU, and maybe it was Governor Cox. I don't know. Maybe they had some sort of influence. Maybe the FBI, I don't know. I don't know.
I thought you
beyond what I've been
knew.
told. But what we can say is that it makes perfect sense to do that. And it's not a crime scene anymore because they released it.
How does it make perfect sense, Gary? How?
Again, Dylan, I promise you and I can talk about this for 20 minutes. Well, not really. But we can talk about it individually between you and I, but I want to make sure that we get to Tyler Young's questions.
Dodging diligent
Can I just
again.
ask, let me just ask one more. I know that Blake has to go, and I just want to ask one more question. Blake, what do you think about Charlie's comment on the Bill Maher show where he said that if you want to have security, you got to get the Israelis? Do you know if Israelis were in charge of his security? Is that why you made that comment?
I truthfully don't remember that comment and what context it was made in. I don't believe our security was Israeli. He had the same security group. Not necessarily the same guys, but like there were specific guys I remember being with him essentially the entire time I was around, and none of them were Israeli to my knowledge. They all seemed like American boys.
Okay. Yeah, that was a very curious comment that he made, and I wondered why he said that. Let me just, one more question, I'm done. What would you say about why don't you think anybody performs CPR? When you look at the videos, nobody seems too concerned about performing CPR on Charlie, and nobody also seems too concerned about the shooter being active. No one's pulling their guns. No one's looking around going, whoa, what's going to happen next? Everyone just seems pretty positive that this is a one-shot deal, and nobody performs CPR. I mean, the video does not show it.
All right, so let me answer. Go ahead.
My understanding, he's
I'm done.
basically in an SUV to get rushed to a hospital within like 10 seconds. So, I don't.
All right, so let me talk about this. First of all, my company is an NAEMT certified training site. We teach TCCC, TECC, pre-hospital trauma life-saving techniques. Everything that was done was pretty much textbook TCCC. You do not give CPR to someone that is suffering from massive hemorrhaging. If you want to kill them quicker, do CPR before you address massive hemorrhaging. I talked about this the other night on Andrew's wife's space. Oh God, her name escapes me. Doesn't really matter. Andrew Wilson's wife's space. It was right after that girl earlier came on because she apparently has some medical training. I don't know what that is. I'll be happy to address that in just a moment. But we literally have trauma ER doctors come to our courses, and we have trauma ER nurses come to our courses, and their protocols and their interventions are completely different than what we're going to do out in the field. It is completely different. The way that they do things, like they have a lot of different capabilities. They have meds to push. They have all these things. So I know she's going to say that they should have been doing CPR. I can tell you that is doctrinally false based on TECC and NAEMT doctrine. It's just the protocols that are established. And if you think about this, again, the acronym to know is MARCH. That's massive hemorrhaging, airway, respiration, circulation, and hypothermia prevention. So you do that in that order. That is not only an acronym, it's an algorithm that you follow. Massive hemorrhaging. You got to address massive hemorrhaging. And by the way, what they're doing at that moment is called care under fire. They actually start moving Charlie within about 26 seconds from the time that he was actually shot. So they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They do an initial assessment. They might provide manual pressure to relieve any bleeding that they can on the move. Then they pick him up and they move him. So he's only there about 26 seconds before they start moving him. So they are responding to the threat. And that is the protocols that they're supposed to do. Now, once they get him to the vehicle, then it's a matter of making sure that massive hemorrhaging is addressed before we start any CPR intervention. So we have MARCH, massive hemorrhaging, airway. And airway is just making sure that the airway is not blocked with any debris or anything else, the tongue, Copenhagen, whatever it happens to be. R is respirations, and that's still not introduced in CPR. What that is making sure that if there's any chest injuries that you put chest seals on it. And then C, circulation, that is where you start worrying about CPR. And so the reason being is the one thing that gets oxygen through your body is blood. You can put all the air you want in somebody's lungs and you can make their heart pump. But if all that blood that is keeping you alive is going outside the body, then what the heck are you doing? So this is just factually, doctrinally, and nationally. This is recognized by SOCOM. This is that, like, everybody does it. So I understand that there may be medical professionals that aren't aware of this because I train them all the time. Or again, they're like, that's not how we would do this. Yeah, I know, but we're out here in the field. We're doing what we call ditch medicine, not hospital interventions, where you have a lot more capabilities and probably, quite frankly, even some of the things they do in there can be outdated. I've seen that. So anyways, the point is how you're going to treat a casualty, care under fire, and the protocols and interventions for that are very different from anything that you're going to do inside a hospital. Does that answer your question, Mother Young?
Yeah, that was a great answer. Thanks, Gary. I gave you a follow. Thanks for
Yeah, no worries. All right, Diligent, you're up, man. Let's go.
I have 3.5 questions for you, Blake.
All right, this is the last one I can do, by the way. Then I got to head out.
Okay. So I got dropped down last time when I was in the middle of the question. The first time I talked to you, you said you spent the night in Orem. You stayed at a hotel. You may have left the hotel once for food.
Yeah,
but now you're saying you were in Salt Lake. So you're good.
I'm not. Now I'm saying I don't know the exact context, but my guess is someone said, like, did you stay in Orem that night? And I interpret it as, did you stay in Utah that night, as opposed to returning to Phoenix where I live? And I stayed in Utah that night, and I stayed basically in the same place everyone else stayed. We were all in, to my knowledge, basically the same hotel, and it was, I think, in Salt Lake.
What hotel was it?
I don't remember.
Hey, Diligent.
Okay.
The prompt is the prompt. This is not here to interrogate.
I'm just asking I have very specific questions.
Again, the specific questions and answers that we need to stick to. So
it's about September the 10th, right?
I don't mind.
I'm not asking him for his
Hold on. The specific things we're going to address is either why is Tyler Robinson innocent, or what did we learn from the preliminary
So I'm
hearing?
going to move on to my next one.
Perfect.
So I interviewed employees in Panguitch at Cowboys Steakhouse, and they put Tyler Robinson at the steakhouse between 8:55 and 9:47 p.m. And that makes it impossible for him to be texting Lance Twiggs saying that I have been here for 3 hours watching the canine units, waiting for this officer to leave, and also to get stopped by an officer at 12:30 a.m. And let me just say this week, right, very, very soon, there's going to be conclusive evidence released that proves that he was there. So my question to you is one, have you seen the post up in the Jumbotron of the interview that IDs Tyler Robinson in Panguitch until 9:47 p.m.? Blake?
The what?
There is a video of an interview with a worker, right, up in the Jumbotron. The worker is telling us that Tyler Robinson.
You mean an anonymous guy with a T-shirt? Not a.
Why are you interrupting me, Mitch?
All right,
Why are
hey,
you interrupting me?
nobody interrupt Diligent except for me or Blake.
Yeah. So there is a worker. Actually, there are two workers at Mormons at a family diner, right? That 100% positively ID'd Tyler Robinson at their steakhouse that night at 9:47 p.m. from 8:55 to 9:47.
Let me ask you a question in regard to that. So
you're not going to let him answer?
No, I'm running the space, and I want to know a question of you, and that is, why didn't the defense present this alibi?
That's a very good question, Paramount. You should ask them.
Okay, and then also on top of this, why every time that we get information from you guys, it's an anonymous source with unverifiable information?
How is it anonymous source? Can you call and ask them if I was there?
I don't care whether you were there.
Supplied photos, videos, images, a selfie.
What you didn't provide was evidence. What you didn't provide was evidence.
Oh, well, what did I say? Did you listen carefully to what I started with?
Oh, I did. How much more do you need to see that Tyler Robinson is guilty? We got DNA evidence. We got surveillance footage.
You're changing the subject instead of letting Blake answer the question.
No evidence. Yeah. You have no evidence of that actually taking place.
Let Blake answer.
So witness testimony is evidence, one.
Okay.
And Tyler
Robinson.
Robinson paid with his debit card, which is a tracked banking transaction.
Do you have the receipt? Do you have proof of that?
So are you going to let Blake answer the question?
I will. These are my questions. I'm running the space. This is
I answered your question, bro. What do you mean?
I asked you if you had evidence of that.
Not letting Blake answer.
I just told you I had evidence of that.
Okay. Well, put that down in the chat or up in the Jumbotron.
It's up in the Jumbotron. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You have evidence of him running his debit card.
It's up in the Jumbotron.
I see. I've already watched the video. What I'm saying is,
you have watched the video.
Yeah.
So are you saying that Mormon kid is lying? Is that what you're saying now?
I think Mormons lie all the time.
So so it's your position that a random Mormon restaurant worker is
my
lying
position
about
that a Mormon can be
Robinson.
confused, and I know how good eyewitness testimony
And what about
is.
two of them? Are two of them confused?
Well, I don't know.
Two separate people?
We have multiple investigators. We have his text messages and his confessions. Are they confused?
Or fabricated?
Okay. Or maybe the Mormon fabricated it. Half the investigators. Hold on. Half the investigators in Provo were freaking in Orem were Mormon. Right?
Dude, almost all of Utah is Mormon.
Well, that's my point. So the Orem,
but not almost all of Utah works for the FBI.
The Orem law enforcement officers that are Mormon would lie about this whole thing and fabricate evidence. But the Mormon at the restaurant that we have no evidence of whatsoever he's above board.
Wait, who said that there wasn't evidence?
I just asked you for evidence, and you just sat there and said, "Hey, look at the video. The video is
that's what I said.
Testimony. That's the testimony. Yeah. Do you have the credit card transaction? What evidence, other than somebody's word, do you have that he was there? And by the way, I don't even necessarily have to look at the timeline, but it doesn't necessarily even disprove anything that's being alleged by law enforcement.
So if evidence is presented this week that conclusively proves that he was there until 10 p.m., right? And it breaks the timeline presented by the prosecutors.
So
my question,
hold on.
Bro, you've asked me like 10 questions. You're gonna let me ask one?
This is my space. I can ask you a million fucking questions. It doesn't matter. But I'm listening. So at the time,
you're scared. You're scared of this question.
No, you're scared of the questions. I'm the one asking.
No, I've answered like 6. What are you talking about?
Well, again, so when was the last time that Tyler Robinson was there at the restaurant allegedly?
9:47 p.m.
Well, 9:47 p.m. When was the next time that he was seen or allegedly seen or documented to be in Orem?
12:30.
So that is over 2.5 hours.
And it is 2 hours and 57 minutes or 2 hours and 50 minutes to drive from Orem or from Panguitch to Orem. Oh, so are you alleging that he sped?
Oh my God, he sped
on the most patrolled highway.
Are you alleging that he
Utah?
It's impossible. So exploding mics are possible.
The night
so
of
the
Charlie
exploding
Kirk's
mics
murder?
are possible. Exploding mics are possible, but Tyler Robinson, who's guilty of murder, is impossible that he's sped.
Guilty?
Except for
He ain't
one
guilty.
small thing there, Paramount.
Gary
which
just
is
said he was guilty.
During the text messages, right? During the text messages, he's describing being there for 3 hours. In the text messages. I'll read it to you if you would like. So how can he be sitting there for 3 hours if he's in Panguitch?
I don't know. I have to look at the exact timeline and look at the text messages.
So now can you answer my question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if we prove conclusively that Tyler Robinson could not have been in Orem that night, that the text messages are fabricated, right? Are you going to start searching for the real killer with the same vigor that you are defending the narrative that you are now?
How is there any evidence that the text messages are fabricated? They were taken directly off his phone.
Because he can't be in 2 places at once.
Well, what if he just lied? What if he just lied about being there for 3 hours? What if he looked for 3 hours earlier and then he left and then he came back? There's any.
And then how did he encounter the teleport? How is he driving back from Panguitch?
I don't know. How did he encounter a cop? How did he encounter a cop in Orem, which is also logged in the record that a cop encountered him and logged in?
Exactly. Okay, so again, the impossible timeline. How can he be on his way back from Panguitch and run into a cop, Blake? That's impossible. It's impossible.
How is that impossible? How is that impossible?
What do you mean? How is it impossible?
You literally just said it was a 2 hour and 45 minute.
2 hour and 49 minute drive.
Yeah. And, so wow, he gained 4 minutes. He gained 4 minutes over that time. So
no, I think the first time that he gets spotted is at 12:06.
I mean, you cracked it, diligent. There's no way around this.
Okay.
Oh, so it was 2 hours and 20 minutes in the middle of the night with.
It's impossible.
Maybe and possibly with police. Maybe not.
He would have to be driving like 100 miles an hour the entire way.
How many miles
is that your position, Blake?
Hold on. No, my position is I'd like to know exactly the mileage from there. From what's the name of the?
It is on my pro. It's on the post. Go look at the second reply.
I want to do my own work. So, what was the name of this restaurant?
Okay, go ahead. It is.
Like PANQ or something like that.
It is. What's that? It's Cowboys Smokehouse in Panguitch.
Okay. Boys Smokehouse.
And then just put in UVU.
To answer your question, I would tell you right now that if tomorrow we find out that there's evidence that anything has been fabricated, I would 100% follow that to the end. I mean, whatever the evidence is going to lead, that's where I would go. And if there was evidence,
or was it me?
What's that?
Oh, you cut out for a second.
Oh, sorry.
So if you wait, so I have your commitment that if we find out tomorrow that these text messages or later this week that these text messages are fabricated, that you and Blake Neff are committed to seeking out the truth of why that's the case?
I mean, I've always been committed to seeking out the truth. I mean, the problem is I don't think that you.
I mean,
guys
you looked
have.
up the time and then you shifted gears there real quick, Gary.
I'm still looking
Why
it
is
up.
that?
I'm still looking it up. What are you talking about? I started.
I mean, no offense, Diligent, but you're the guy who like you guys have been freaking harassing us about like freaking SUV rentals. Like you have a lot of.
I've never harassed any one of you.
No, that was us
Yeah, you
actually.
have. You've harassed us like tonight.
Give me one example.
Paramount, this was already the owner called the FBI, submitted to the FBI the credit card number of the person who paid.
Even the owner wasn't there the night that
clearly
Tyler Robinson was. Two employees were.
Even the employee in the video says, "I think it's him."
No, he said
I
100%
believe that's
certainty.
him, but they don't have confirmation. There is surveillance footage above the cashier. All of
There
this
is no surveillance footage. That was
according
installed.
to the media reports.
That was installed afterwards.
According,
I have the entire
according to
interaction
the-
with the owner
according
and
to
the
the media
workers
reports.
all recorded. So you can try to run your
Diligent.
shit all you want.
Listen, Diligent. You're the biggest problem talking
just
to you.
reading from the media reports.
The biggest problem talking.
Why is
According to
Mitch
the media
interrupting,
report-
Paramount?
Mitch, stop interrupting.
I was quiet, so I
Diligent.
just
Listen. The problem with talking to you is you talk over people and you think the louder you get, the righter you are. That's not how this works.
Bro, I'm not being any louder.
Right now, you're interrupting me. I'm trying not to interrupt you, but this is always the issue talking with you about anything. So anyways, the point is I think both Blake and I think any honest person out there, if there's new evidence that is presented tomorrow that changes something from a substantive standpoint, I can tell you, me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, I would change whatever I needed to change based on the evidence. And by the way, I've done that multiple times throughout this investigation from the very beginning.
We've noticed.
So, you've noticed what?
That you've changed your mind multiple times during the
I've only
course of this
changed my mind
investigation.
once.
Diligent, you're just such a
This is
jerk. Like, come
yeah,
on.
like I've changed my
Diligent,
mind
your
one
position
time,
is-
if anything,
Diligent.
on that, and that was based on evidence.
Diligent, your position was that like the entire prosecution team in Orem has colluded to fake all the text messages on Tyler's phone and also fake the data that shows him leaving Orem at, I believe, like 1:33 a.m. or whatever the amount was on the thing. Like every single aspect of this has been fabricated. I mean, along with everything else. So fabricating the DNA evidence, which would require collusion of a lot of people. Placing this rifle, which did belong to Tyler Robinson, in the towel and all of that. And like faking all of the evidence in his apartment. Like all of that comes together and you're like, I'm going to bring it all apart because this guy swears he saw Tyler Robinson in a restaurant at this specific time where it actually wouldn't even be impossible for Tyler Robinson to drive back to Orem from that restaurant in the time span indicated anyway. That is what is going to allow you to unwind the entire case with all of its evidence.
Yeah. So anyways, if you drive, it's 206 miles, going 80 miles an hour, get you there in about 2.5 hours. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate you breaking that down. Anyways, so it doesn't, there's no conflict here other than potentially the text messages. But again, I stand by it. Again, if there's something that's going to present itself, and by the way, that's a real rich coming from Diligent and multiple other people on this, when you guys have jumped from one theory to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. I've changed my position sort of one time, and I was more doubtful that the 30-06 wouldn't have an exit wound. And then again, once I was confronted with the MLK, I actually studied it. I went to the MLK case study. I studied every aspect of that. I started looking at pathology reports from the military. And look what I found. Hey, you know what? This is more common than I thought. That's just a fact. There's 4 people that I know that were shot with 30-06, and none of them have an exit wound. And that's Charlie Kirk, Martin Luther King, Chuck Ritter, who was shot from 25 yards away, hit him in the spine, deflected downward, and he's still alive. And then Shane Hill, who was all 4 of these people were shot in the spine, and there's no exit wound. So I have more evidence that is possible. And yes, based on the information that I learned, I was more sure that it was possible. Never said it was confirmed. I think right now, with the preponderance of the evidence, it's the only logical conclusion at this point. So that's where I stand. But you guys have jumped from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. So don't even play that game. I will say, you know what, Mitch, you were already talking earlier. Go ahead.
Oh man, I'm at work. Can I just please?
Yeah, that girl, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
No, Jacko, you always do this. You always jump ahead of everybody.
How dare you? Please don't dare me on spaces like that anymore. Like, stop.
We've all waited a long time. That
No,
girl,
I waited a long time. I waited before you.
No,
Like, come on now.
That girl.
No, you didn't. And the host called upon me. So respectfully, just let me.
I was already here. Like, this is ridiculous.
Respectfully, you do this in every
No,
space.
what do you mean
that
every
girl.
space?
You just
I
come
haven't
out
even
and say,
This is
Here's
a
what we're
derailment
gonna
on
do. You guys
purpose.
have the
This is
next
what
3
this is.
seconds to figure out who's talking or on Bucci
I'm
votes.
talking now. So
All right,
anyway,
there you go.
two things.
Just
Blake,
go.
first of all, thank you for allowing me to come up here, Paramount, and I won't make it take long. Blake, I hope you're having a good night, and I will not get derailed by this guy. I just one question for you, and then I do have something to say to Paramount. I heard about this 4D type of imaging that we were going to see with the, courts. Benny Johnson came out, everybody came out, like, oh my God, we saw it in 4K, sorry, not 4D, 4K imaging. This was Tyler Robinson that was, by the time I got to see the imaging, I saw artifact. That's what I mean. Obviously, I'm being a little tongue in cheek with the artifact word, but to hear 4K and then to see this kind of blur blobs running across the screen. So, do you think that somebody who sees this and says, "I'm not sure that definitively Tyler Robinson was on that roof. I know something happened on that roof, but I don't know that I can say I'm placing Tyler Robinson based on his imaging that I was told that when I see it, I will know that it was him that was on the roof." Am I wrong for that?
Blame someone for not reaching that conclusion just off of the footage, but that conclusion is reached off the footage combined with the rifle being discovered that is owned by Tyler Robinson, combined with his DNA being on that rifle and being on the towel and being on the screwdriver, combined with his car being present at UVU multiple times that day when he lives many hours away, combined with him sending incriminating text messages to Lance Twiggs, which were turned over to police afterwards and extracted certainly from Lance Twiggs's phone. I'm not sure if from Tyler's as well, but definitely Lance's. Combined with his parents recognizing him from that video and then having some sort of confrontation with him that results in him agreeing to turn himself in, combined with have I left anything out at this point? Like,
no, I could go through a lot of that stuff, to be honest, but I don't. Right. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because with the DNA, there's other DNA there, and apparently Tyler Robinson's DNA was actually more degraded than other people's DNA. So, like, we could do.
No.
But there's other DNA on certain items, whatever. So we could do this all day. But the point is that the messaging, right? Like, look, for me, it could be that Tyler Robinson is the one who sadly took out Charlie Kirk. I can't believe the last few months I've been missing him more and more. I wasn't that huge of a fan, but I would have loved to debate him. But here we are today. But for me, there's always more to what meets the eye in this situation. And I'm sorry, I won't stop saying it, especially coming back to a Paramount. I'll give this to you because I see the other hands. I'm not going to be rude and try to, keep on talking or cut people off or whatever. But, you're giving me this thing about massive, March assessment and everything else. But, in my videos, I've actually covered everything with the March assessment. There were multiple people supposedly working on Charlie Kirk. Instead, I saw them passing off weird things to each other. I don't know.
You can zoom in and you can slow it down. You can see that
so somebody grabbed something.
No, they didn't.
They put it in their back pocket.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
That didn't debunk all the hell. That's just not true.
Forget that. Fine. They didn't pass off anything. Even though I'm not really conceding that, but I'm moving on because I see where this is going. Massive hemorrhaging. So you have multiple people working on this man. One person could have been working on the hemorrhaging, but for you to say that not doing CPR is an absolute, that's what you shouldn't do. Hold on a second, I'm not done. You shouldn't do CPR. What's the point of anything then? You're going to have a bunch of blood pooling in his body, veins collapsing, no oxygenated cells, hemoglobin getting to the organs and stuff. But again, you had multiple people with him. So one person could have been working on trying to apply some pressure to that wound. You can't apply a tourniquet there because that's his neck. Okay. This is the pathophysiology of how it goes. But even better, a neck wound. Okay, whatever it was, a neck wound is not supposed to be moved like that, head bobbing all over the place.
It's clear to me that you're not aware of TCCC interventions. This is doctrine. You get them off, hold on. You get them off the X. You do not worry about a perceived threat, i.e. a neck injury, when you have an imminent threat, the shooter and the massive bleed. That is the doctrine. You don't have to like it, but you can take that up with the National Association of Emergency Medical Technicians, and you can take it up with SOCOM, who really developed those to begin with. So go ahead.
Yeah. So again, like this SOCOM, I'm going to go into this teaching because from what I'm looking at, again, I'm looking at your March assessment, and I'm also giving you the answers based on your March assessment. And there's no world where you're saying
that is covered under TCCC. You're saying your opinion of things, and it's wrong.
No, I'm not saying my opinion. I have saved a life, so I saved many lives.
Lives as well.
I know that you have.
I have done field trauma multiple times in real combat situations. So I don't know what your point is. The fact is everything that you're bringing up
is a debate about who saved many lives, whatever. I wasn't saying it to you, like as if you haven't. Hold on. The only reason why I feel like I have to say this is because if people think that I'm just doing some opinion thing, it's in my blood, right? So even when Charlie got shot and went under the table.
What is your job?
I'm a registered, my career, I'm a registered nurse. I've worked in trauma, worked in ER. And yes, when Charlie got shot, want to say he got shot, whatever, he's under the table now. It's like the threat. So you pick him up and you put him even more out there for somebody else to try to shoot him again.
Get them off the X.
Under the table is actually safer if you think about it.
That you know nothing of. Like you don't understand what is taught and is recommended for the protocols and interventions for care under fire. Look up care under fire. Google it. Whatever you want to do. Look up care under fire. It is taught at PHTLS. It is taught with TCCC, TECC, and is taught through NAMT. And by the way, it's taught by every single law enforcement and or military medical interventions for tactical trauma care. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You can go get on the board of the TCCC board, and maybe you can change it. It won't, because they're going to laugh at you when you say, I've worked in a hospital. They're like, Jake, this ain't a hospital, because you don't do the same things when you're dealing with gunfire.
Yeah, but that's why I'm explaining the parts where
you're explaining to me things that you don't really know anything about.
I know. It's not about not knowing anything about it. It's about safety and knowing that even still when you pick them up, or not you, when they picked him up, right, that still puts him at risk for line of fire. To be honest, underneath the table and all of that.
It gets him out of the line of fire. He was not behind cover.
Under that table, he was behind cover, but okay,
Do you know what cover is? Hold on. This is what I'm talking about. Do you know what cover is? There's a difference between cover and concealment. Do you know what cover is?
I know that being out of the line of fire is better under that table.
Protection. Cover provides ballistic protection. That means it stops bullet. Was there anything there that stops bullets? Then the protocol is if you don't have cover and the scene is not safe, and the scene was not safe because there's no way to determine whether there was an active shooter or not, the protocol is get them off the X and get them to the next higher level of care.
And that killed him.
Protocol.
And that killed him.
You can just exercise Dunning-Kruger all over the place and just expel it everywhere.
Is that kicked off enough?
I thought Blake was leaving.
Hold on a second. I have one more thing to say. It's cut off.
Just fire hosing. Do you mind if
Wait a minute,
I
Paramount space. I think is breaking. Paramount, are you still there?
How about you just stop?
Because you're being maybe even Paramount. You must be out of your.
You are. You.
Oh, I think she got.
No, Gary's having issues, so it's
okay. So you tell me if you guys want to hear the rest of this, because I think Blake's going to leave soon, or you guys put a 1 in the chat if you want me to keep going.
We have got about an hour and a half of this.
Yeah.
Recorded onto this live.
He's not going to answer anything.
I don't think any of the main people who are going to ask tough questions have already came and gone. We don't even know anybody else that's there. Project Constitution got to ask some questions. Diligent got to ask some questions.
Okay, I'm asking. 1, if you want to hear more. 2, no. I see lots of ones. Okay, I'll do like I'll do like 10, 15 more minutes and then I'm out.
You don't know as much as what you think.
It's kind of cool to watch
No, I
them
know
crash
what I
out on
know,
each
and
other.
Again, don't either. It's like I know everything because I've done one
Because
thing,
it's
and it's
like, I'm
sort of
done,
similar.
I'm
So I know
out,
everything
I'm
about this
done.
too. I don't. He was perfectly safe.
5
He
more
was
minutes.
behind cover.
Yeah, other
He
people
was
are
behind
like,
cover.
I'm done.
It's
So you
insane.
didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, please go ahead. Thanks for your patience.
Oh, the YouTube listeners
Thank
want it
you.
because they don't
Thank you for
have
this
X.
space. So,
Whereas the
let's just start off with
people who
something
have
that
X
we can
are
all
done with it,
notice,
right?
because
They
we're
can
going
just
to
go
notice the
listen to it.
noticers, quote unquote. Every single one of the people who are now, justice for Charlie, hated Charlie. And you could see, they hated Israel. They hate Jews. That's all of them. And literally, this is what my peer people have experienced our entire lives. This is Hollywood, but now transferred to the United States of America. And what I mean by that is, there's a famous saying, the hater doesn't accuse you of theft because they believe you stole anything. They just get that sick sociopathic joy of having you turn out your pockets to show that you didn't do that. When they make accusations against Andrew Colvett or Blake or Erica, it's not because they believe anything they're saying. They're enjoying having you turn out your pockets. When they make these crazy claims about the drive, now we're on to the drive to Pasquatch or wherever it's called. We have text messages that have been downloaded from a phone, from a witness who provided testimony. Verified metadata. Well, the metadata was Celebrate. That was invented by an Israeli. Doesn't matter to them that it's now owned by Japan. That doesn't matter to them. It's all about the gaslight. So you'll turn out your pockets. Candace Owens, the queen of Candyland, hated Charlie. And you know what? Some of us are married, all of us have a friend in life, or a wife has a friend in life where, as a spouse, you say, you know what, that person, something's wrong with them. And I am firmly in the belief that at some point, Erica turned to her husband.
Audio issues. Hold
not
on.
right with this woman.
Blake is gone.
And that turned Candace into.
Blake is gone. We don't need this anymore. Who the heck is talking? I don't know. But he dropped out. He's gone. So if you guys still want to listen to that, it's going to be boring. It's just going to be with Paramount Tactical now. Oh, you made a tongue twister for me? What is it? I'll do it right now. By the way, guys, I cannot do tongue twisters. I don't know if you can, Charlotte, because I can't. It's really bad. It's really bad. Yeah, we could do like a members live and we'll do tongue twisters. It's kind of fun. You'll probably laugh on how I do it. But yeah, Blake Neff dropped out. He's not there anymore. I can double check. No, he's still here. Hold on.
On here before, his theory is no, Tyler didn't kill him. He was killed from behind by an Arcus gun system, augmented reality bullets from the Israeli gun system.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
At no point do any of these people turn around and say, you know what, I was wrong. Because if someone is legitimate, like Paramount, you had some ideas that you thought, you know what, this doesn't make sense. But what makes you authentic is you said, you know what, I looked into that, I considered the evidence, and I said, you know what, this doesn't make sense, and I'm going to now reverse my view. An authentic, honest person is able to say, I was wrong. People who are dishonest don't care about the truth. They care about the turning out of the pockets. And I've said to Blake before, when I saw him before, I find that too many people at TPUSA are defensive. You have nothing to be defending about. You should be on the offensive at these people. And literally, I mean it seriously. Go and look up what is Hollywood and understand that this gaslighting, this attacking, they don't care about the truth. They just care about the turning out of the pockets. And that's what's going on here throughout all of these people. They hate Jews. They hate America. They hate TPUSA. They definitely hate Charlie. And that's what they're doing here. And that's why I see it. So when you give them the legitimacy of just saying, well, all the evidence that's been submitted is to be just discounted. And some, Google Drive, I looked on the Google, it takes this many hours to drive from here to there. And I have a video of some guy who is headless in a t-shirt who says
that he definitely believes is Charlie, and this was submitted to the FBI, who have their credit card number. Now we have to believe the random FBI agent who now checked his bank records, which obviously they have. This is now part of some conspiracy to hide the fact that he was at the restaurant or wasn't at the restaurant, hide it from the defense, who would obviously raise this. Everything is not evidence to say, okay, you know what? I considered that idea. The Arcus gun is crazy. You had, what's his name up here from the Constitutional or whatever. For him, it's not about the exploding mic because the microphone was on one side of the body. And obviously their claim is, oh, if it exploded, it hit him in the neck on the other side. Well, unless this explosion went in a U-turn and made, topsy-turvies. So now they've made up that there is a battery pack. I mean, there's no evidence there was a battery pack on him, but they'll just make that up. And now it's a battery pack that shot out a piece of metal that, went upwards and then sidewards into his neck. They don't care about the truth. For them, it's about the gaslight to say, it's like the pager attack. It must be the Israelis. And that's what it's all about. Either it's the Jew, it's TPUSA, it is the Israelis, it is the government. Why? It's not about caring about Charlie. It's just about
it's not a 30-6
all over the place to make you turn out your pockets.
I don't disagree with any of that. And I like that analogy. They do. They like exercising some sort of authority of you over you and extorting you and into proving your innocence. And on top of that, they love the fact that they have the power to turn so many people against you and stalk you and harass you. And there's something very malicious and sadistic that these people get out of that. And
It is the Pallywoodization of this event. And I say it clearly, and my people are very familiar. I'm Jewish, I'm Israeli. We are familiar with it because we've watched it for decades. We are the noticers of the noticers. And it's the same pattern now just being put on people who are honest, legitimate Americans who can't believe someone would make claims that are so insane and make you demand you turn out your pockets. They just, because your guys are not used to this. We have always been used to this.
Yeah. No, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think those were...
I just rejoined for a second, but I gotta go to bed. So
no worries.
Thanks for everyone. Thanks for joining
Hey
everyone.
Blake, could I ask one question before you dip here? I've been up for a while waiting. Just before you leave.
Fine.
Okay, and Paramount, this is for you too, in case Blake bores of the question here. So Paramount, I appreciate you saying that you would follow evidence wherever it leads, and I appreciate that as a good faith position. And what I've seen that's been a little disappointing from the pro conviction side has been that in the face of questions and commentary, there's always an obscure sort of grouping of everybody that has any question with Candace or Ian. And then they're held up against some quote that they were wrong about as they changed course.
I'll tell you who it is.
Past, which sure, there's a point there, but that doesn't.
Okay, well, let's jump to your question and address it individually.
Yes, okay, sure. So, question specific. This is high profile, unsolved murder as he arrives at the medical facility. And there's a very important reliance on the ballistics to match the gun to the shooter and the shooter to the crime. And inside, we've got tested from the body only 4 pieces of 7 that were retrieved. We're looking at a grain weight of something like 44 grains out of what is between 155 and 180, depending. Gary, you probably know more there. But to have such a
where did you get that 40 grain weight?
That was stated in the weight of the total 4 pieces that will remain.
Okay.
So first of all, you have a chain of custody issue in retrieving 7 and delivering 4. There's already a little hiccup there that the defense should have jumped on.
Well,
Another
hold on. That's a
hiccup,
chain of, like I keep hearing chain of custody issues, and if there's any chain of custody issues, clearly what the public's perception of legitimate chain of custody and what is considered legitimate chain of custody by law enforcement, there is a big delta between those two perceptions, because the defense would pull that up and they didn't. So
there's many things like that, though, which brings a good question that you're welcome to ask. But let me finish what I'm saying real quick.
Go ahead.
With only 25% of the bullet weight, this is absolutely customary to leave. Let me finish. You don't even know what I'm fucking saying. How are you going to?
I know what
so
you're
what
saying.
I'm saying is it's not customary to leave shrapnel or fragmentation inside the body there's an X-ray to identify every bit. And in a high-profile case, it's 10x. And if it's an unsolved murder in a high-profile case, it's 1,000x. They X-ray the body, they find where every fragment is, and they go fish it out because that's the case that you convict somebody on.
That's incorrect.
So let me finish. In court, to have only 25% of the bullet mass of a bullet that clearly didn't have an exit wound, you should have more than 25% to base your decision and get your conviction on. And also, that doesn't even speak to the fact that we went from 7 down to 4 bits. So in honest, good faith arguments...
7 to 4 bits. Clarify that.
What's that?
What do you mean 7 to 4 bits? You mean
7 were
7
retrieved,
pieces? Okay.
4 were given.
Gotcha.
7 pieces were retrieved, 4 were given at a total grain weight of something like 43 grain out of the 155 to 180, which is the most common range for the 30-06. There's also an issue that the diameter range based on the bullet was 0.287 to 0.301, and the radius of a 30-06 bullet is 0.308. So you're already outside of that range. And even in the list, the litany of available guns, some short guns, some long guns, you have tons and tons of makes and models, and that's not even identifying a range which the 30-06 fits within. Now, outside of the defense,
hold on, because you're galloping here. We're like covering a lot that I think like we need to address these.
It's all one point.
Well, hold on. You're stating things that are just factually incorrect. So let's go to the 280. Hold on. Let's go to the 286 to 301 measurement. So first of all,
287.
What's that? 287. Okay, 287 to 301. What she says specifically, she said it was important that I gave a range, and I have the clip. I can post it down below. It was important that I gave the range because of this damage.
Variance, yes, damage.
Because of damage. Now, the other issue here that clearly non-gun people don't understand. What is the bore diameter of a 30 caliber rifle, i.e. the 30-06? What's the bore diameter? Do you know?
No.
It is exactly 0.300. Now that doesn't make sense. How do you get a 0.308 caliber bullet into a 0.30 caliber rifle? Well, the answer is that it squishes down the bore diameter is 0.300 so that it seals the chamber or seals the barrel and the chamber so that the gases behind it are going to propel it. So that's exactly what we'd expect to see is about a 0.301. You have some amount of bounce back. But that's exactly what we expect to see, which is exactly.
Okay, hold on. Let me accept that.
But that's why she said the calibers that she presented up there, all of them, including 308, because nothing was outside of the range, and also because of damage and deformity. So there's a lot going on.
Okay, so let me accept that. Yeah. Let's give you a win there. I accept that. Thanks for the knowledge. Okay, back to examining and convicting your killer based on some 25% of the pieces of a bullet that was not leaving the body, which should have 100% of the pieces.
No.
The fact that every bit wouldn't have been fished out, that there wouldn't have been
That's
X-rays
standard.
as a matter of standard practice, that's standard, and those weren't followed.
No. Please find me that standard and post that somewhere because it's not standard. No,
Sure.
They're not going to take.
I'll post it right now in the Jumbotron.
Hold on.
You could ask Brock in a similar high-profile JFK-esque state-level case where there's a murder mystery, okay? You could keep it agnostic or do the Charlie Kirk thing.
Sure.
What is the likelihood they would leave some, 80% of the bullet fragments inside the body when not presenting the case to convict the killer? Obviously, that's out of course, and I'm happy to show it in the Jumbotron.
Do you know the term lead snowstorm?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so what happens when you have tissue that has been, obviously you've been shot, and especially when you hit bone, you literally have powderized lead, these pieces that are so small, and no, it is not standard practice to dig those out. It's just not.
Okay, you're talking about powder and pulverization.
Yeah.
Okay, which I honor. Sure. Okay, great. That's not going to be 80% of the bullet. The delta of the full bullet weight from a non-exiting bullet is not immaterial to an investigation.
I didn't say it wasn't immaterial. No, I never said that. What I'm saying is number one, they are going to pull out what they can. They're not going to sit there and get an X-ray out and work underneath an X-ray.
They literally do as a matter of practice, which I'll post in the Jumbotron. That's actually literally the protocol. It's literally, they scan first. You don't go digging around blind, hoping like a frog in a laboratory or in a school test or something in college. You obviously x-ray, you find the bullets, and then you retrieve. This is a matter of standard protocol, and it's 10x, 1000x if it's a high-profile unsolved murder case. That's just literally how they do it. They don't go and let's check over here. Let me prod around here.
Well, hold on.
They
You
don't
just
go in
literally
blind.
cited Grok, so you're literally just asking AI. Why are you like
No, I didn't cite anything, man.
No,
But
you
it's
cited
very
Grok.
easy
You
to
literally
prove.
cited Grok a few seconds ago. You're full of it.
Okay, I'll literally cite all of the AI and any
Forget
other
about AI.
medical
What I
resource.
like to see is some sort of protocols. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know the answers to that. I do know that it is common in just ones that I've looked up. I've seen where they have left bullet fragments in there. Now, is there some sort of protocol that says?
Now, was that
hold
at
on.
state level? Was that in JFK? Would they just leave some 80% of the bullet? Let's see if it
Well, they
matches
also
with
no, they
or not.
you know that they recovered the bullet from JFK, right? It was like laying on the gurney next to him. All right,
The magic bullet, yes,
so
I
it
know,
was-
but
it was-
nobody's
it
talking
was
about
not-
that.
we're not-
I'm
we're-
saying that they wouldn't have
You
left
literally-
it in that case.
You literally are the one who brought up JFK. Why are you
Yes,
doing this?
as an
invasive bullcrap?
anagram. No, I'm not talking about the same bullet. Clearly different circumstances.
let me ask you
No,
this.
What
Why'd
I'm
you bring
talking
it up?
about is
You're
that
making stuff up.
high-profile nature. Let me answer, Blake. It's a high-profile natured case. I'm trying to use an analog so that you can see it through a different light. And of course they wouldn't have then, and of course they didn't now. You would find all of the fragments. That's material to catching the caper. Okay, that's a matter of good practice. You don't go
Okay,
to
so
testify and
just
give your
hold on.
bullet examiner
I'm going to mute
20%
you
of
if you
the
don't
weight.
shut up for a minute, because I just looked this up in Grok as your source. Is it common to hold on?
Blake, he's quoting Grok.
Just because that was your source, so that's what I'm going with.
It's not my source.
Hold
It's
on.
all AI.
You literally
That's
cited it
either-
as your source.
Either
You're
shut up and let
lying
me
to us.
talk, or I'm going to just kick you out. It is.
That was Blake talking over you.
Jesus Christ, you people are insufferable. Is it common to leave some bullet fragments in a homicide case? Yes, it is relatively common in a homicide case and shootings in general to leave some bullet
May I
fragments in the
answer?
body, depending on
May I
several.
answer?
Hold on, no, I'm still talking. This is one thing that you guys are clearly manic, because every time that I talk to you conspiracy theorists, and diligence another example. Like, you don't understand how to have any common, decent discourse with anybody. You sit there and talk over each other, and the same thing with that lady just a few minutes ago that claims to be a nurse and doesn't know jack shit. Like, the fact is like, you guys don't even know how to talk. And it's like, I just got to say my point. I can't, and I got to put 15 points out. And it's like, I'm talking to a crazy person every single time. Now, I'm going to finish talking, and when I'm done talking, you can talk. This is how humans interact with one another. Yes, it's relatively common in homicide cases and shootings in general to leave some bullet fragments in the body, depending on several factors. Forensic pathologists and investigators often recover what they can, but complete removal isn't always feasible or necessary. Here's a breakdown, and it goes on. Fragmentation. Many bullets, especially high-velocity rounds like 30-06, 7.62 by 54, or frangible varmint rounds, break apart upon impact with bones and dense tissues. Tiny pieces can scatter and embed deeply. Risk versus benefit. Surgery to remove every small fragment can cause more damage than leaving them, e.g. additional bleeding. Obviously, this is in someone that's alive. Location matters. Fragments near vital structures, major vessels. Obviously, that's in alive. Autopsies, imaging. Recovery. Pathologists remove larger recoverable fragments from ballistic testing. Smaller ones may stay if extraction is impractical. So there you go. You cited Grok. I gave you the exact same source that you cited, and it completely contradicted what you had to say. So now it's your turn to talk. Hello? Go ahead. Your turn. Your mic might be muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So the question that you've posed here to Grok to get your silly answer, you know how many shootings there are in Chicago in a given weekend? And of course, is somebody shot? Is it potentially common to leave some pieces? Of course. No one's talking about that. What I brought the analog of JFK to bring the gravity of the circumstance, unsolved, high profile, state level. Okay. These are things that are not your average case. And I will post an adequately asked question to Grok, if that's now our playing field, that you would see in a high profile murder at a state level actor. You're not going to leave in crucial evidence inside the body, and to reduce it all down to dust.
Do this.
Some
Take a
portion,
screenshot. Hold on.
80% is not
Hold on.
80% was not given to the examiner.
Take a screenshot of that Grok query and answer, and please post it in the comments below. Because
yes, sir.
But regardless, the fact is I know for a fact, looking at other cases, they leave bullet fragments, and they're not just going to dig around and damage.
Listen, other cases, you can't just make this a 1-to-1 to the gang shooting in Chicago that happened 1 hour before the other gang shooting. They take an X-ray as a matter of practice to identify fragments.
Tell me your end state here.
Yes, okay. My landed plane, and give me one more moment as a speaker because I want to bring up the query, but my end point is that a good faith actor would not be calling me some conspiracist and say, oh, they're all just like this. I've not said anything conspiratorial. I'm talking about evidentiary facts in a case. If you have a high profile murder where the fragments are what goes to indict the felon, okay, the murderer, you're going to take special care. I'm not saying 100%, but I'm certainly going to look cross-eyed at 20% given to the examiner. It doesn't help their case. No conspiracy needs to be spoken of. No group candy cult nonsense needs to be referenced to just answer an issue of material fact. And that was actually my prior point. It's that when trying to have a material discussion about why did 20% end up for examination when there's no exit wound, that should be a simple thing. There shouldn't need to be insults or groupthink or some strange response to just answer that. And for your side to never wave a flag and say, that's a little crunchy for me, is bizarre. And it's a little bit like with the response that everyone would get. Hey, I have a question about the vaccine. Oh, do you want to kill my grandma? Well, what about its efficacy?
Now
transmission? Oh, do you want to kill my grandma? Everyone says, oh, do you want to kill my grandma?
You're straw manning. Nobody did that here tonight. And it's not like that. It's
Everyone does it everywhere. All the people
that is literally as straw man as you get. Everyone everywhere. Everyone everywhere does that.
Okay, let me qualify. Better. Let me clean that up. I respect that it's not everyone everywhere. What I'm talking about and what I've sought and what I've posted in the nest to hopefully shed light on is an interest in good faith discussion. I see very little of that. What I see often, as many of the people, you or Viva Fry, who I usually trust his commentary, but any tough question that's asked, it's referred to, oh, those candy cultists, or you wait for 50 questions to come and then you pick the retard who says something indeed retarded and you say, oh, look at all of them. But that's not acting in good faith. A good faith answer on your side or that of Blake would say, well, actually, yes, that is a little bit of a head scratcher. I hope we find out why. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. At least that is in good faith. But to say 20% being examined to convict the guy
multiple times, so we don't have time for this. What I would say, my answer to you, is that I've had thousands of these conversations in good faith, and when I give an answer, you guys don't like it. What you say is a head scratcher. Quite frankly, is not a head scratcher to me. There's nothing weird about this. There's nothing weird.
I just don't know for examination. That's okay with you?
I don't even know.
You're happy at that?
I don't know what the standard is. And here's the deal: no matter what, they can't match the bullet to the rifle. So what does it matter at this point?
Not no matter what. With more fragments, they would have had a better chance.
Do you understand? Hold on. Do you understand what they need to match the bullet to the rifle?
Of course, I sat through all.
So they don't have that material, and they're not going to sit there
because she was given 20% of the total weight of the bullet. There's no good answer here.
Fragments are lead. You're not going to do a tooling match with the lead. You do it with the copper jacketing, which she had, but there was still too much distortion to be able to do a conclusive tooling match to the rifling. This is the problem. It's like you keep repeating something that is irrelevant. Like they still only had 20%.
It's irrelevant. She only had 20%
what she needed. What she needed.
And you think to leave the other 80% is normal?
They don't get it, Paramount. They just don't get it. You could
look. The fact is,
that's it.
I have one thing that I wanted to just add quickly.
That's it. I'm done with these people because so Blake Neff left. It's just done. If you don't follow the lines of Gary, then he kicks you out. He blocks you. There's no freedom of speech in that space. Yeah, Blake Neff left. He's not there anymore. He's gone to bed. So I did this for you guys. I played it for you guys because I know a lot of people on YouTube don't have acts, and a lot of people got blocked by Paramount Tactical because that's what he does. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed that. I don't know if Muppet's still in here, so go ahead and record it, Muppet. You got this YouTube now, so you can go do whatever you want with it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty weird that Paramount Tactical is doing Spaces with Blake Neff. That means all along he's been his little, I don't know what you call him, little bitch. Like I don't know. Come on, you can come on if you want. Oh my god, but we got this. I did find him. Just for a little bit, Scotty, because I got to go to bed too. But I will invite. Yeah, it'll be quick. Okay. All right, I'll send it in the chat here. Hold on, little girl. There you go. It's in the chat. There. It's very clear. Yes, very clear. Very clear picture. Oh yeah, that's definite. Yeah, that's definitive proof that it's him. I mean, that gave me a headache listening to those guys. I mean, I sent it, Scotty. Did you see it? It's in the chat there. So this is it. He can't answer questions. He doesn't work for TPUSA. He doesn't work for TPUSA, everyone. He works for the Charlie Kirk Show. He doesn't know what hotel he stayed at. He doesn't know if he was in Orem. He didn't know if he was in Utah. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know anything. Well, there's no point to even speak to this man. There's no point for me. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? I
Yes.
love you, dude. I love making you break every show.
I don't know.
on mute, you
I
said
asked
stuff.
D for this to watch this. Oh my god, what a shit show!
Dude, this was horrible. How is Gary to No Testicles like talking about all of this? And like he originally came out and goes, "There's no way a 30-06 could have gone through his the soft tissue."
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then they have like a pork leg, a leg of a pork, which is like pork weigh like hogs weigh 400 plus pounds, and the bone that runs on their legs has to support 400 pounds. It'd be like getting shot through the femur of me. You know what I mean? I weigh 260, but I mean, like, it'd be like me getting shot through the femur with a 30-06, which has happened before, and people lost their legs because of it. You're telling me that it wouldn't blow somebody's neck off and it would be like decapitated on national television?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You know, he's like, I've seen weird things doing bullets. and MLK thing, what people don't know is he's like, yeah, MLK got shot through his chin, which is like one of the most rigid bone structures because of the teeth and all the cartilage in your mouth.
Yeah.
He got shot through the side of his mouth. It blasted out his entire like lower jaw, exited his body, and then went down and penetrated his chest to do more damage inside of him. And the family of, oh god, I'm a conspiracy theorist and I hate myself because I can't remember the guy's name.
My question is, why are they doing these spaces now?
Why? I don't know. You know,
there's something going on here.
There's something going on. Oh, and why did Benny Loves Johnson's come out and say like, this is it? And Officer Tate, you know, was an officer for 4 years and he speaks volumes, and he was in the court, saw definitive proof, and they all said the same thing: definitive proof, definitive proof, definitive proof. Wouldn't that sound like somebody is giving you a narrative on a script to read to the populace?
Yeah.
And it's like all of us, quote unquote, conspiracy theorists are talking about what's the metadata, the data, the weird things about the whole thing. The bullet doesn't match the gun.
You see what Dick Pumpkin Listen said?
Yeah.
Distraction from research. That's what these spaces are mostly about.
It's
I don't
all
really,
it's about.
I don't really go into them. Sometimes I do.
I just see it randomly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And it's one of those
funny,
things.
if it's funny, I'm gonna go
It's
into it. Yeah.
well, dude. I mean, like that's the thing is like if I had $4 billion and somebody came to me with an idea, it'd be is it going to work for 90% of the population? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is it going to bring betterment to 90% of the population that are below that poverty line? That's
Yeah.
the rest of the world, or is it funny? Because if it's one of those, if it's not one or two of those, I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like it better be funny or it better be useful. And none of this is useful. And none of it's useful. And it's just, it drives me nuts because it's like, oh, we're hearing the same thing from 20 different people that are on major network news media. Guess who owns those?
He just
A
can't
small
answer.
country.
He just can't answer questions though. Like Blake
No.
doesn't. And then when people try to ask him a question,
He
Gary would
flips
answer.
out.
Gary would answer. They are solely working together since day one. I'm telling you, Midray,
1,000%.
Gary,
1,000%.
all those freaking people, they know about everything since the beginning, the footage, everything. Like allegedly,
Everything.
sorry. Yep. That's my, just my
pure spec.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of the
speculation. Yeah.
Yeah, pure spec. And it's one of those things to where pure spec on my part, looking from the outside in, it's like pure spec that like it's the whole memorial, the whole sales, the everything to bump it up and take TPUSA to the next level. Pure spec, like if he's gonna pull out those donors, like that's millions of dollars, billions of dollars in revenue. And so you're going to pull that from people that are controlling the narrative. Somebody's got to go. Pure spec, you know, in my opinion, pure spec, but somebody's got to go. I mean, this is the clearest picture we've seen of Tyler Robinson.
This is it.
That's it. I mean, this solves the case right here. I bet they saw this in court and Benny loves Johnson's and Officer Tate.
Did you see Get Crunked and Listen's profile picture?
No, bring it up.
I mean, everybody's jacked up tonight.
Dude, it brings me so, you have no idea how much joy the thumbnail brought me with the McFurry, and then I clip onto it before you guys even started. I was talking to Anka last night, who was in the space, and she made I've known her for 23 years, and we reconnected on Kevin's space. It's all a story for a whole other day. But she became a member just to come on there, and she streamed it to her friend in a private chat, and they were laughing. We were all laughing our asses off last night. Like my face hurts so bad. It's hard.
I mean, yesterday was hard, man.
More, man.
So I'm gonna make the comments. I'm gonna make like
clips.
You say, like, yeah, no, I'm gonna make like merch, T-shirts, or
no, you should. I said do movie poster pictures.
Oh, I could do that. Yes. I could do posters too.
Yeah, when
a variety of stuff. I'll do.
Yeah, when we were texting, but like, I'll send you a link for some mugs or whatever, so they can get a coffee mug. So now that I'm gonna be drinking coffee in it when I launch your go on your lives, but
freaking Candace's show is fire tonight.
Dude, she went off.
The bounty.
And the bounty
$10,000 to find out who Ben had that lunch with.
Yeah, and the funny thing was she brought up maybe some of my research too, but like she brought up the car incident on her live. Did you see that? I texted you. She brought the car evidence up about the different chargers and the hood scoop and everything in the tailpipe. And that was stuff that we found on the live. It was Flamingo Mafia. I'm not gonna take credit for it. I don't want to. I will never. But
no,
like,
we were all here. You were doing it too. We were all here doing it. Somebody sent me something. So everybody's sending me something funny. Hold on, let me bring it up. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what this is. I hope it's okay. Ready?
1, 2, 3, go.
Ready?
Comment from Muppet Masher. How much slop can a Fed slop?
Oh, wait.
How much Fed slop, the good slop, flip slop.
Oh, is this the tongue twister? Okay, let me play.
Yes,
ready?
This is the tongue twister.
Okay.
I just have a comment from Muppet Masher. How much slop can a Fed slopper slop? How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop? Tell me, Blake, can a snake beat a rake? Can we save our state from the Israel hate? It hurts my feelings. How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop or slop? How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop? How much slop can a slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop?
Oh my God. Okay. Scotty, get control. Scotty, control.
God, you better post this.
When did Gary become the fourth member of the Bee Gees?
Oh my goodness.
The other three of them are dead. He's got to carry on the legacy.
Oh my God, I can't even remember the tongue twister.
Staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. Gary's staying alive for selling Fed slop, staying alive.
Oh,
I'm the
I
worst
gotta play that
singer in the
again.
world.
I gotta play that again.
Please, because I'm gonna lose my shit again.
Oh my God. Like he's like kind of in Erica gear.
Kind of. He came out behind the curtain to show this shit off.
You still gotta post this. This is brilliant.
He has to. Muppet.
I just have a comment.
Let's play it again. Ready?
I just have a comment from Muppet Masher. How much slop can a Fed slopper slop slop? How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop? Tell me, Blake, can a snake beat a rake? Can we save our state from the Israel hate? It hurts my feelings. How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop or slop? How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop? How much slop can a slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop slop?
Oh my God. That, I don't even know what to say. It's epic, yeah. It's epic.
Dude, God.
Thank you so much. You made me die. I lost it, Muppet. That was like one of your best ones.
I thought I broke her earlier, dude. You broke her completely. Oh my.
No, this is it.
Okay. Oh, my face hurts so much today.
Don't be sorry. He's saying sorry.
Surrey.
No, this was too funny. Did you guys like that? Oh my God.
No, you had to be here for it, dude. This is, you have to clip that. Muppet put it out there. Please. Don't nobody else take credit for it, dude. That was the most whole.
That was so good. Oh my God. And I'm gonna end it with that. And as I leave my show tonight.
I left making out with a wall to watch this.
Because I gotta go. Chris is already like left and he's tired. He's going
tired.
to bed. So.
Is he eating leftover chicken wings?
I stayed up for you guys to play the rest of this.
You're amazing. Oh, Allie, why did you do that?
Because a lot of people got blocked by Paramount Tactical, and I wanted to watch it myself.
No. So why'd you show up looking so beautiful tonight?
Oh, stop it, Scotty. Does he flirt with you in the chat, girls?
Always.
Oh, Tornado Alley is actually in the space, by the way. She's in the space listening.
Tornado, I love you so much. Tornado, do you have a YouTube? Does she have a YouTube?
She is Tornado Alley 5, I think it is, or I can't remember.
Tornado Alley 5. Okay, because I was looking for her today, but I want to support her channel because she's like she's my partner in crime.
She's really good.
Dude,
I'm just gonna read this one super chat before I go.
Okay.
Riley. Oh, he's really good. I don't know if you follow him on X. He's really good. I sent you a message on X for a photo of someone. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, I saw that earlier. Yeah.
I think I saw it during my stream, but I haven't got a chance to review it. So if you're still here, Riley, thank you. Like he's the one who helped me with the dashboard with the notes, the notes in the car and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really good with that. He's very helpful.
Well, and plus then Steve that posted on X after we went through the whole car thing.
Yep.
That was Steve, right?
Yep.
I want to give him credit because he had the clearest photos and he was the one that pointed out everything that we were saying in that space that day. And I want to give him super credit because that was so kind of him to,
I
especially
went on
to
his
post
show.
you.
I went on his show with the Dawn
Oh.
guy. I think I'm going to go on their show on Friday, by the way.
Well, you text me and shoot me a message in X so that like when you go on his show, I can pop up in there because I want to give him props and appreciation for it, and the girls will show up too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
for
sister
sure.
wives.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. But thank you so
But-
much for popping up for a few minutes to end that freaking stomach laugh. I'm ending the show tonight, and I'm going to end it off with this. I got to look at it. I will. I'm going to look at it. It's just been, holding my phone to the to the mic all night. Paramount blocked me too. Okay.
Well, he hasn't blocked me yet, so if you want somebody to troll him, I'm in.
So thank you so much, Scotty.
I love you, Allie. I love you so much. Tell Chris I love him so much. Big kisses.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are the best. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Scotty. Okay. So we are gonna end off with this. Why not? This was everything. Thank you so much, Muppet. Thank you everybody for showing up tonight. What an explosive day it was. I'm pretty sure tomorrow, Candace's episode is going to even be more explosive. So I will see you all tomorrow. Hope you have a fabulous night, and Christ is King, and keep saying Jesus' name and keep fighting for the truth for Charlie, please. Don't stop. And here we go.
I just have a comment from Muppet Masher. How much slop can a Fed slopper slop? How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop? Tell me, Blake, can a snake beat a rake? Can we save our state from the Israel hate? It hurts my feelings. How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop or slop? How much slop can a Fed slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop? How much slop can a slopper slop if Fed sloppers can slop?
Good night, everyone.